Me, I just said, hey, 8-8. And like 8-8 to everybody was a cop-out. Oh, you can't say that. You've got to do this or you got to do that. And I think 8-8 was going to be great. I thought 8-8 was going to be fantastic. I mean, they get off to that one win and a month and a half start. I think everybody else was probably thinking at that time that 8-8 was going to be fantastic as well. But as it turned out, it was a hell of a lot better than 8-8. A hell of a lot more to talk about than 8-8 positively. Nate, what was his name? Nate something. I think he had him as the worst team in the NFL last year. But you get all these little, this is what's going to happen in the NFL, things that they do really around the nation to try to pique some interest in a time of year where there's not a great deal of interest sports-wise going on. That said, I saw the ESPN release, and this is not just for this coming year. It's not just for 2019, not just for 2020, but it's for the next 3 years. 19, 20, and 21 is what it's for. And among others, it's Louis Riddick and Field, what's his name? And all the guys at ESPN that cover the NFL think the Colts are going to be the best team for the next 3 years, which would probably get everybody fired up. And maybe you already thought that. I'm sure you probably already did, right? I mean, the Colts absolutely have to be in a Super Bowl, i.e. win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. And you're going to go, oh, man, you're setting the bar so high, JMV. How can you say that? Because the owner says that all the time. So what the hell? If the owner says it, why can't I say it? Why can't you say it? Why can't you believe it? But not just do you have the belief from the owner or, the belief privately from those within the organization, just not as publicly as you would hear it from Jim, but privately from the organization, that belief. But the nation is on board, and the nation is not just on board for this coming year, on board for the next 3 years. One, multiple, I know it's hard, but you guys, normally fans around here fit into the mold of being the guy that walks around with a chip on his shoulder. I got a chip on my shoulder, and nobody's giving us respect, and this sucks, and that sucks. Normally, everybody, I think, feels better about it, but I will tell you this. There is something to be said. Something to be said about on top and just say, hey, your team is supposed to be that good. Now go out and get it done. Now, a lot of these reasons would be obviously because of the quarterback position, but also because of what Chris Ballard has built in his first couple of years here with what Rick Venturi would call ambient type of players, right? I mean, you have it on the defensive side, you feel, and Darius Leonard. They even upgraded that, you feel, with a guy veteran-wise like Justin Houston in the offseason. I mean, on the offensive side, you mentioned the quarterback. You have T.Y. Hilton at wide receiver. That's great. You add in Devin Funchess, and you hope he does something. You have a guy like Eric Ebron. You got who was fantastic catching touchdown passes a year ago. I mean, you look at Ebron, you look at Doyle, you look at Mo Alley Cox, you like the tight end position. Seems like you got a great deal of depth now as you add Spencer Ware in the offseason as a veteran presence at running back. And then you look at the offensive line, which has been an issue around here forever. I mean, since the Manning era, since the Polian Manning era, nobody could get it right. Well, I mean, they couldn't get it right. I shouldn't say nobody could get it. He couldn't get it right. He couldn't get it right. Could not get it right. And by all means, too, you draft it, you sign a free agent, and now they got it right. And they have one of those players on the other side. And normally you don't talk at great length about a left guard, but Quentin Nelson gets as much love as any offensive lineman in the NFL right now. I mean, it's tough, and I know we live here and we hear it all the time, but it's tough to make an argument of anybody along the offensive line that gets as much love right now as Nelson gets. But ESPN, for the next 3 years, in fact, they have the Colts as the best team moving forward in those 3 years. And keep this in mind, a year ago in this same survey, the same poll, they had the Colts at number 22. So you're moving up really quick. Boy, these guys really don't know what they're talking about. Needless to say, what we have talked about here is the bar is set incredibly high. And the bar here, to me, is you have to host a divisional round playoff game. You have to host it, win it, and then go to the AFC title game. That's where I think the bar is set here. I don't know if a lot of you would agree with that, whether you think that it should be higher or it might be a little bit lower. If you're still saying, hold on a minute. I mean, remember the schedule and how the schedule broke down last year. I mean, it was a team that got better, but it was also aided by the schedule and the way the schedule looked down the stretch. But be that as it may, that's exactly where it's going to be. Host a divisional round game, which I think is absolutely of the highest importance. Host a divisional round, win that, and go to an AFC title game. And you're kind of thinking if you host a divisional round and you get through the schedule good enough to host a divisional round, that you probably should be good enough maybe to host an AFC title game. Is that setting the bar way, way, way too high there? Oh, we got a long time to talk about that, but that is, at least from my standpoint, what I felt that not only this year, but the next couple of years they were talking about as far as the Colts and where they expect that team, that organization to be for the next three. Again, they had the Colts at number 22 a year ago. So we can hit that if you like. You know, we could talk about the bar, where the bar is. Where do you expect the bar to be? I think I'm good at a divisional round playoff game. I think an AFC title game. Now, even with the difficulty of the schedule, as we've talked about a number of times here, we can hit that up at 239-1070 if you like. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. You guys have been active on my email all weekend long. I tell you what, active on my email, and I haven't been very active on social media, but you guys are all about like racks all weekend long. Somebody went to racks in Ohio, and then I retweeted it, and I thought we're going to have to build a new racks around here someplace. like my phone kept pinging. It was like somebody talking about racks. I don't even know who the guy was. I just saw it. He goes, hey, there's a Racks. I haven't been here forever. This used to be a great place. And he dropped in BBC, and you guys all came correct on the Racks. Man, we probably didn't give it the proper respect, comparatively speaking, to Arby's in the day. But we always want what we can't easily get, don't we? Always. Yeah, I mentioned the Pacers Summer League. I try not to make any drastic prognostications out of Summer League. Like, for example, even in the positive, I'm glad that Carson Edwards had a really nice Summer League and really should have been on the top 5 list of the All-Summer League. But don't crap your pants over that, because it doesn't matter. I mean, that part does not matter. But I mean, did he look to me like he was one of the best of that Summer League? He did. I mean, it looks like he fit, again, at the NBA level so far like a glove. But that doesn't mean much, and I'm not going to put a great deal on what I saw or lack thereof from the Pacers. But I can be honest with you. What I see from Aaron Holiday, that's sketchy. And again, this dude's going to be counted on. There's no way around it. There's zero way around it. I mean, we've been, stuck with, these draft selections, and talking about TJ Leaf, where you come out and, hey, we're just going to wait. Yeah, the veteran's better, so we'll play the veteran, and you can slide to the back of the rotation. You're rotational if somebody gets injured or you have extreme foul trouble. But it's a bunch of BS this year. I mean, guys got to play, and this is going to be one guy that needs to play. And I know that's why. Have they made it official with TJ McConnell? Did I dream? What the hell's going on there? They can't find a pin for TJ? I mean, I know everybody want to laugh about TJ McConnell, but watching, and I know that Aaron Holiday is just not going to be the type of player that TJ McConnell is, but I'm assuming that's the reason why you bring that dude in if you think, well, this may take a little bit longer than what we thought, because Aaron Holiday was on the struggle bus during the Las Vegas Summer League. It didn't look like he was ready to go. And again, it's Summer League, and I try not to make these huge game-changing observations out of Summer League, but it was cringeworthy at times, wasn't it? I mean, the volume of shots and the volume of misses, it was cringeworthy. Got to have him. This group has to have him. All right, if you're going to struggle at something, okay, but you're going to have to show better than that. Right? Easier said. You're going to have to show better than that. I'm a Reds fan. Kyle's a Cubs fan. What did I say a couple of weeks ago? That I wish the Reds played the Cubs the entire year. I'd feel really good about that. 7-3 on the season against the Cubs. Now, the thing about the Reds that drives me absolutely nuts is this is like one of those games where they drop you the carrot, right? And it's just like dangling there, and you're just ready to grab it, i.e. you're just ready to believe, and then they suck. And then they pull that bad boy right back, and you think, I mean, every night it's like buyer, seller, buyer, seller, buyer, seller. Should be good. Could challenge. Not very good. Won't challenge. I mean, every night. I'll give you a great example. Those Colorado games they played in Denver, I mean, they had a chance. They had a chance in every one. Won one of them. Had a chance in every one. It just has always been something. Now, not with the Cubs for whatever reason. I mean, you feel good about that. I never really feel good when the Reds are on the road. But for some reason, they play at their best against the Cubs. And I don't know if it's the Cubs and we're going to get fired up for it. I don't know if it's that. It's like last night, the Cubs, I thought, made a couple of mistakes in the field. That was a big moment with that pop-up and foul ground, kind of blew back onto the field. And Rizzo whiffed on the catch. That was a big moment of the game for sure. But I mean, maybe it's true. I kind of said that in jest 3 weeks ago. The Cubs, I wish they were on the schedule the entire year, but hell, maybe that's accurate. The Reds need that. It's always something, though. I'll tell you the one thing that you kind of figure out. Reds fans are figuring this out right now. How many guys in Major League Baseball can you describe as a guy that, to you, you hate him? Or maybe hate's too strong a word. We're in a hate-filled world right now. How about you dislike this person to your core? I don't want to go all Noah Gregson last week talking to Blake about how much he does not like Justin Haley. I believe that was described as hate him with a passion. He has some passionate hatred. Anyway, somebody that plays on another team that you absolutely cannot stand. But, man, if that dude was on yours, you were all in. And I think most people would probably say Yasiel Puig's at the top of that list. I know some Reds fans would say that Baez is on top of that list. I don't know why Baez would be on that list for Reds fans, but anyway, I think some would just because they don't like him or like the Cubs in general. But wouldn't Puig? Because I'm going to tell you this as a Reds fan, I stinking love Yasiel Puig. I like watching him play for the Dodgers, but I'm more of a Justin Turner guy than I'm a Puig guy, Dodgers-wise. But I love him for the Reds. He plays hard all the time. Now, he might go a little bit haywire, but I really enjoy watching that dude play. I do. And he probably would qualify for most fans as a guy if he's on another team you don't like. But since he's on your team and he's providing production, entertainment value, you do. He at the top of that list. He at the top of that list for you. We shall discuss. You know what they call it? Fat shaming? Weight shaming on Twitter? Twitter's stupid as hell. I mean, it is so dumb. I try to keep it between the lines of just I don't want my time to become unenjoyable. And I think if my time becomes unenjoyable, that means I'm probably into it with somebody, and I don't want that, so I try to keep it between the lines. I want some enjoyment. Like I've said before, stupid crap that wastes my time is not what I'm all about. And Twitter, social media in general, Facebook, can give you a lot of crap. What's up, man? A lot of crap that will absolutely waste your time and suck all out of the enjoyment. I mean, all of the enjoyment out of everything. You see, Deion Waiters apparently had weight gain last year and playing through an ankle injury with Miami. He got motivated to lose weight from Twitter, which I guess that's the good side of it. We all know the bad side of it. It's been well documented. But yeah, you gain weight, you play, you have an ankle injury, you're shelved for the season, and it motivates you to look better. What's up, Sky? So good for Deion Waiters. The Open begins, Northern Ireland later on this week. I'm supposed to play in Amp Harris and Reggie Wayne's basketball game coming up on Saturday. I've done that for like 5 consecutive years. And I always get out there really early and shoot a lot of jumpers and think I'm ready. Then I get out there and just suck. But it's always a great event. We'll get Amp on later on this week. I'm going to try to get Reggie on the show as well. But Amp is supposed to set me up with Teddy Riley again because a part of Indiana Black Expo coming up this weekend, Guy, which if you like New Jack Swing especially, back in the late 80s, early 90s, they inspired that. I mean, they popped that genre, to be honest with you. Teddy Riley was on a year ago and he was outstanding. Teddy Riley from Guy, Teddy Riley from Blackstreet, Teddy Riley from Rex and Effect, Teddy Riley, producer, just a genius. And we'll do that later on this week, too. Somebody sent me this before I hit a break. Talked about the 4 albums of my generation that I grew up with. I don't know who started this. You get a lot of this, and then it kind of bleeds into either my Twitter account or bleeds into my email box, and somebody would, okay, what are your 4 definitive albums? I don't know if I have 4 definitive albums. I probably have more than that. It's tough to really cut it down to 4. But I can also tell you this. Well, the way I grew up, because of what I was looking for enjoyment-wise, I didn't want to listen to crappy bad songs on albums. So I kind of made up my own mixtapes. Now, I had albums, but I made up mixtapes because there are just a lot of songs on an album that I think suck, and I didn't want to hear them. I mean, didn't we all grow up that way? I mean, you wear out 1 point in the cassette tape. You'd wear out 1 point on the album. That's why Skip for the CD generation was invented. Skip that song because that thing sucks. So I was trying to think of the albums that I would not skip the most. License to Ill, the Beastie Boys is probably on top of the list. License to Ill, Pyromania, Def Leppard, Joshua Tree, U2. I loved LL Cool J's Bad. And I'm probably not thinking of them all right now, but I would probably start right there. Yeah, non-skippable. The most non-skippable albums out there. And probably because it's a soundtrack may not count here, but Crush Groove was one of my favorites of the 80s, and that's probably when I was growing up at least. Raising Hell, Run DMC, but probably, I don't know, those are 5 or 6 of the most unskippable albums that I can remember from back in the day. So thank you for asking. All right. Bob Kravitz has an article in The Athletic today about how the Pacers are caught in mediocrity, how they're stuck in this gap, and they're not going to get out anytime soon, and it's the NBA's fault. I think we all know what he's talking about there. We'll get into that with Bob Kravitz, and we'll talk about the Colts. We'll talk about the Colts and where the bar should be set this year and for the next couple with Bob Kravitz coming up at 4 o'clock from The Athletic, and Greg Racestraw is going to join us a little bit later on. We've got some heavy-duty rain showers. This remnants of Barry right here. We got the remnants of Barry happening, yeah. Yeah, get that, because your lawn dried out there. Is it going to water that bad boy a lot? All right, anyway, 239-1070. We'll do your calls here. We'll get back to some of the stuff I have already mentioned and some of the other stuff that I'm going to get to. Do we have tickets to give away this week? Because I thought we did. We don't? Yeah, I check with Chris, because I thought we did. Anyway, we'll get back with you. A lot more. Busy show. Rakestraw, Kravitz, your calls. I'll get the Connecticut Water question of the day. And at some point, either by the end of this week or early next week, we're going to draw for our second Backyard Bourbon broadcasts. And we're going to go out to your place, which I cannot wait for. I'll tell you a little bit more about that next.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Read the signs. Slow down. Stay alert.
This is Joe Bulk, business manager of Labor's Local 204. Every year, not only do accidents in the construction zone kill and injure workers, they can also cost you, the driver, thousands of dollars and time in jail.
A message from Indiana Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Welcome to the Sagamore Club, a private golf club and residential community like no other. Sagamore is inspired by golf's time-honored values and traditions. Just recently, Sagamore was recognized as one of the area's top private clubs, as the Jack Nicklaus signature design was rated the number 10 course in Indiana by Golf Digest. In addition to its award-winning course, the club features numerous amenities for members and guests, including upscale casual dining, swimming, tennis, fitness facility, and an active social calendar. Sagamore offers a place where your home can be created just for you by one of the area's finest custom builders. Set up an appointment to experience the Sagamore Club. Start your journey in making your dream home a reality today. Call 776-2500, 776-2500. Sagamore Golf Club and Community in Noblesville between State Road 37 and I-69. Sagamore, your club, your home.
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Buy one traditional wings order and get one equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Running a business, you've relied on the big machine to keep your internet and voice services worry-free. But one day, your voice and internet stop working, costing you customers by the minute. So you place a call to the big machine, and you hear,
"Hold the line."
After several transfers and hearing,
"Oh, I am sorry, but you have the wrong department. Hold, please."
Realize you're with the wrong company. You call Teltec.
This is Teltec owner Troy Rousseau. At Teltec, we take great pride in providing professional, hands-on support. Established businesses like Howell Heating and Air and Carson Agency continue to experience the benefits of Teltec's customer care.
If you're a business of 10 to 200 employees or more, Teltec invites you to put an end to your reliance on the big machine and contact Teltec for a free review today. 317-390-8585 and click on simple123.biz. That's simple123.biz. Teltec.
It's Indiana's best. It's Andy Moore, Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. Whatever you're looking for with the fuel efficiency from the Toyota Camry, How about the SUV, the Toyota RAV4 that's just so popular right now? All the great prices. Talk to Ben. Talk to Robert about that today at Indiana's Best. Andy Moore, Toyota in Avon. The best prices, and it's one-stop shopping. Just 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. Tell them JMV sent you.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Get your vehicle summer vacation ready with a free vehicle inspection, valid at participating dealers. Big O Tires, now open in Whitestown.
Yeah. The Ride with JMV.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good. So what's the problem? I don't know.
1070 The Fan.
Kyle's over there. I'm John. Thank you for joining us. There's probably a rain shower near you right now. I don't know what that does. I think it normally, back in with the FM 107.5, it was always a problem. I hope it's not problematic. Like rain in the afternoon around here because it kind of screwed with the FM. Don't screw with the FM. Yaney at JMV at 1070thefan.com writes this. JMV, I'll see your Puig and raise you a Ryan Braun for my Brewers. When it comes to players, I would hate if he were on another team. Oh, John Lester. John Lester's another from the Cubs that comes to mind, too. I'd love to have him, but I can't stand him now. Thank you, Yaney. He says Kravitz is the best. Bob's going to join us at 4. See, it's not just anybody from the Cardinals for me. You could probably factor in a couple. I don't feel that way about Matt Carpenter. I mean, really, I'm not being affected by Paul Goldschmidt just yet either. I mean, nobody really from the Pirates. I mean, Clint Hurdle, their manager, is kind of a D-bag. I think he's the only person that's got a redder face than me right now. He just like rolls around like a red ass with his red face. So he's probably he could be on that list as the manager. I don't know if you'd want him. Maybe you would, but he's certainly very easy not to root for or not to like. Thanks, Janie. Appreciate it. Hey, JMV, hope all is well. Don't you wish the Reds could play the Cubs? Well, yeah, I said earlier, I wish they played them every damn game. They just have the number, it seems like, this year. Farmer, who was thought of kind of a throw-in in that deal with Homer Bailey. He was Homer Bailey, by the way, now with the A's. Yeah, that's big. I do. I like Puig. I like Puig, and if he was someplace else, I really didn't care here or there. I'm big on I like Justin Turner about as much as I like anybody in Major League Baseball. But Puig didn't bother me. It's probably because he was in L.A. But if Puig were locked up with somebody else in the Central, I'm sure I would dislike him. This is from my man Jay down in Jackson County. Hello, JMV. We're in Ohio as there are racks open. I can't remember. There are like small towns in Ohio, but if I tweet this out, somebody will tell you. Because my Twitter account was Team Racks over the weekend. Not seeing anything like it. It's from Daniel. 22-1 ranking in less than a year just goes to show you how slow news is. Colts played a charmingly soft schedule down the stretch last year. Beat an overrated Houston team and was smoked by KC. Remember 6-0 loss to Jacksonville? Overrated, according to Daniel. Overrated. Yeah, maybe so, but that's where their bar is going to be. They might as well get ready for it. You might as well get ready for it. Colts fans, I'm assuming, are ready for it. It's from Scott. Hey, JMV, 101 right now, driving on I-4 in Florida. 101? Yeah, that's pretty hot right there. I got to admit, JMV, Ryan Braun's a cheater. No matter what. If he's on your team or not, I knew that the Ryan Braun cheating thing was coming right there. That's well done. And he was. He is. Was. All right. We talk about boycotting all the time. I don't boycott anything, and you can't tag me when I boycott movies because I'm going to celebrate the 20th anniversary of not being to the movie theater, but it's not because I slap on some ridiculous boycott, right? It's just because I choose not to go. Now, people are trying to get me back, and again, I mentioned last week that that new Quentin Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it is, to me, trailer-wise, interest level-wise, the closest I have ever been to breaking the streak. And I kind of want to realize this thing up until the 20th anniversary, September 21st. However, this is as close as I've been. I wasn't as close with Straight Outta Compton. I think Linda Lovelace had one. It might have went straight to video. That doesn't count. So this is the closest that I have been interested in wanting to go see something. The only thing that may hold me back is I'm sure if it's Tarantino, it's probably 4 hours long, and there's no way that my 20-year anniversary return is going to be spent 4 hours long in a theater. But it looks like it's pretty damn good. That said, it's not a boycott. I just choose not to go. But I have seen where NFL players are boycotting Madden 20 because their ratings aren't high enough. Now, somebody indulge me, if you will, because I don't play. Do you play Madden?
Occasionally. I won't buy it, but I'll play it occasionally.
Eric Ebron of the Colts is one that's upset about this. Look up what Eric Ebron had to say. Eric Ebron was upset about his rating. If anybody out there knows anything about Madden, let me know here. If you want to call, if you want to tweet me, because I don't, are these bad? How bad is it? How bad can this be? It's a video game. Who gives a crap? Am I wrong in suggesting that with the myriad of things that might be going on, this would seem to be at the bottom of the list? Who cares? Who cares if a bunch of really smart nerds that put together this Madden thing every year, do they go by Pro Football Focus? What do they go by? I don't even know what they go. So you'll have to explain all this to me. Because I'm asking, why should it matter that much? Now, granted, for some of these guys, you'll take anything on as motivation. That's what I talk about around here. We will take anything on as motivation. Especially hey, they don't give us the respect that we deserve. We play that card more than any card around here, and normally that it serves a purpose. And that's probably why it happens around here more than it does seemingly anyplace else. But why does that rating dig at these guys as much as it does? What was Ebron's rating over there?
He's rated a 86.
86. That to me seems really high.
He's number 10. Jack Doyle is an 85, and he's the 12th highest tight end.
That seems does that seem, with Eric, I'm going to ask this. It seems right with Eric Ebron because he caught touchdown passes, but my man dropped a lot of passes. He did. Who else was mad? There's a lot of guys out there that are mad. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's boycotting. The wide receiver for the Chargers. Did you see what his rating was on there?
I think he was an 89.
89. See, I mean, this seems damn high. Am I wrong about this? And again, I'm not a part of the Madden culture, so I don't really know. I saw where they ranked Deshaun Watson low, and the Honey Badger chimed in and said that's why kids are playing Fortnite all the time now instead of Madden. Hey, I just all seems about right. Hey, find motivation wherever you can, clearly, right? But somebody have to explain to me why this is such a damn big deal. Here's Mark in Arcadia, for example. He is a noted Madden enthusiast. Every NFL player thinks they should be rated a 99 plus, and with Ebron, he should be happy with 86. He was targeted 110 times to get those 15 TDs. I'm curious. I'm looking for you Madden enthusiasts right now. It's from Covey in Monroe County. JMV, speaking of racks, did you see this one? Brooks Koepka's girlfriend Did you see her outfit at the ESPYs? I didn't see that. That would have made me watch the ESPYs. How did I know? How did you guys see? I blame you guys. How did you guys not tell me this was going down? I count on you as much as you count on me daily for entertainment, for content, hashtag content, as much as you count on me. I can't count on you to let me know that this was going down last week, and I know nothing of it until I sit here on a Tuesday, almost a week later. Colby, I blame you too. What the hell's going on? Devin at 239-1070. Go ahead, Devin. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, JMV?
You're a Madden enthusiast?
For the most part. I've kind of grown up playing it my whole life, yeah.
Why are these guys so pissed about what seems to me to be very high numbers for them?
Well, this year specifically, I guess they've been kind of dropping. Well, not necessarily. They've just kind of been spreading them out more. The last few years of Madden, they've really kind of gotten to the point where you 98, 97 overall, one of the best guys out there, and then you got somebody that's rated 87, 88. You're not seeing much of any difference hardly. I mean, the same the gameplay, the game style, everything's the same. So they've kind of tried to make it a lot more of a different play, different game style, and spreading out the ratings. They've actually said that some of the starters this year are going to be like 65 to 70 overall, which they've never done. But if you look at an NFL roster, it's realistic that you're going to have a couple players here and there that are holes in your team that are going to be weak links. And they haven't really done a good job of that the last few years, but now they're kind of trying to tie down on that and spread out the ratings.
And this doesn't affect players in any way other than ego, right?
Yeah, more or less. That's basically what it comes down to. Yeah. People are kind of spoiled and have a big head about themselves.
Oh, Devin, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Listen, I cut my teeth on Tecmo and Super Tecmo. I'm Bo Jackson, going down in history as the greatest all-time video game athlete. So you'll have to explain the technology part of it with me. I just thought, yeah. Now, again, these guys are always looking for a little extra motivation no matter what, but this all seems kind of silly. And if you were to look around, NFL players, maybe a week and a half in some instances away from starting camp, and you're talking about boycotting Madden 20 because you got like an 89 rating. Curious. Quick one. Kennedy on the other side. Bob Kravitz, top of the hour, and more with me and you next.
Register to win the Evan Williams Bourbon and Connecticut Water Backyard Broadcast Party with JMV by heading to our contest page today at 1070thefan.com.
Here's what's happening with The Fan.
Check out all the Fan's live appearances and more under the events tab at 1070thefan.com. How about tickets to local sporting events or opportunities to win free prizes? Then check out the contest tab at 1070thefan.com. Enter for your chance to win free prizes today. And follow The Fan on social media. The Fan is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like and follow The Fan for updates on all things Indy Sports Center.
For more info, click on IndySportsCenter.com.
Breaking Benjamin, live in concert, July 23rd, part of the Coors Light concert series at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, with special guests, Chevelle, 3 Days Grace, Dorothy, and Diamante. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Breaking Benjamin, new album, Ember, out now.
Men, are ED issues getting in your way? Locally owned Men's Health Solutions is here to help. Physicians at Men's Health Solutions can offer multiple options, many at a lower price than you find at other local clinics. Just a $75 initial appointment fee that includes a test dose of medication and sample meds with no further commitments. You'll know the same day if it works, so what do you have to lose? ED treatment doesn't have to be expensive. Men's Health Solutions, 317-975-3945. menshealthsolutions.us.
Oh, we got some messing up going with AC units out there. Man, I told you this time was coming, didn't I? I told you that it was going to get hot, it was going to get humid, and maybe your system, your HVAC unit, is not ready for prime time. Now, friends, it's prime time because the last thing you want to see happen is your AC unit go kerplunk this time of year. That's why call 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning at 844-1-HOUR. That's 844-1-HOUR if you need anything from their technicians. They can get it done for you. Right now, they've got a free service call with a repair purchased. So you just feel peace of mind, don't you? If your AC unit's doing what it should, and if you feel that maybe it's not, because it's going to be, incredibly overworked going into this weekend, make sure you're ready. 1 hour heating and air conditioning, 844-1-HOUR. That's 844-1-HOUR today.
At Shane Company, selecting a spectacular diamond for your engagement ring is an eye-opening experience. I'm Rorden Shane, 4th-generation jeweler. Every diamond is unique. Cut, color, clarity, and carat weight are important, but our jewelry experts go beyond the 4 C's on a certificate. They won't just tell you how our diamonds are different, they'll show you. Come in to compare a Shane Company diamond side by side with a non-Shane Company diamond in the same GIA grade, or feel free to bring in a diamond from another jewelry store to compare with ours. When you see for yourself that 2 diamonds with the exact same grade can look so different, you'll have an aha moment. You'll clearly see that our diamond has more beauty and sparkle. We offer you a premium diamond without a premium price. That's the power of a direct diamond importer. Visit other jewelry stores, then come to Shane Company last. You'll have the confidence to pick the diamond you think is the most beautiful, and you'll know you're getting the best price.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Turn to the experts at Howald Heating and Carrier for all your cooling needs. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good. Online at HowaldHeatingandAir.com.
Hey, let's talk about something that's great. Joe Childers and my guys from CarX are fantastic because our car, truck, and van, whatever you're driving around, took an absolute winter beating. And if you haven't really checked up on it just yet, you could have issues. But make no mistake, the best place to go just for whatever your car, truck, or van, your vehicle might need is that of CarX. I'll give you a great example here. AC, right? Can you tell that it's not doing the job that it should? CarX will inspect the entire AC system for just $19.99. What about your brakes right now? Maybe squeaky, grinding, you don't want it. Again, it's been a tough first 6 or 7 months with your vehicle here in 2019. So make that CarX too, because you'll get a lifetime guarantee in brake pads. It is a great price tag to make sure you have peace of mind on your brakes and everything in general. CarX locations throughout central Indiana. Tell Joe Childers that I sent you. And if you need any help, I'll let you in on that and get your car, truck, or van serviced today with the best. And make it CarX.
Go trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. Tonight at 7 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I don't understand the words you just said.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, do you know who this is, Kyle, right here? Anybody know who this is? Re-entry music from question mark. Who's this? See, I didn't know that he was into music, and he's been here before. Back before the 500s, when Izod had a part in the 500 back in the day, they would bring in a lot of Hollywood actors. And Jeremy Renner was once upon a time in this building downstairs with a bunch of other Hollywood folks celebrating a little party before they went out to the 500, the track, for pre-race festivities. That's Jeremy Renner, the actor. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I saw a commercial somewhere. I go, what? I thought it was like a film. But apparently, Jeremy Renner's first love was music. I think he is as good an actor as you're going to find today. And he's doing the music thing. That's Jeremy Renner, the actor. I think the song is called Main Attraction. There's your New Music Tuesday right there for you. I don't even know if it's new. Jeremy Renner. Who would have thought? That's a pretty good crossover. I don't mind it. All right, 239-1070. Good reason to boycott Madden 20. Everything's got to be boycotted. I can't do this and I can't do that. I got to stay versatile, folks. I can't go boycotting stuff. And to stay versatile. A little versatility in my life here, please. Again, big shout out and thanks, if you're listening right now, to Kristen Airy and Jeremiah Johnson for a job well done yesterday. I thought they were fantastic. And quick shout to the U-Haul people for letting me I got a brand new U-Haul box truck. And my wife had a ton of stuff. And to get her out of that purgatory over there and down to our basement, my knees are shredded too. I can't do that anymore. I'm tired. Knees. I've never felt like I was approaching 50, which I am right now. Right now, I feel like I'm approaching 50. I'm assuming that maybe I'm feeling like what it feels like to be over 50. Kennedy's at 239-1070. Hello, Kennedy. How are you?
What's going on, John?
Go ahead, Kennedy.
First off, if I'm ever on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the last question is about music, I'm calling you. But I was calling you about the Mad Horse.
Go ahead, Kennedy.
I don't know why. I mean, I see why some players like to take it personally, but I didn't play last year's. But I'm pretty sure, like, it's like, for instance, like you said, Eric Ebron, he was an 86. That's actually pretty fair for him. But if you play well throughout the season, weekly, I'm pretty sure it improves your stats on there as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers here, and because of the sake of the argument, I'm trying to understand, but I think all these nerds got it pretty close to right, didn't they? For this year?
Besides who they gave the 99 receiver to, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Yeah, I'd have to look at it, I guess, a little bit more than that. I just like for Ebron to get mad, I thought, well, that looks like that makes sense to me, and for Keenan Allen to be mad, I thought that made sense too. So,
yeah.
Kennedy, I'm glad you called in, Kennedy. You need to call in more. Thank you.
I will. It's been a while. I've been busy, man. I will make
you got to get back on the board here. I know it's been a while. Who's saying that song? It's been a while. That's Stained. That's Stained. Look, Kyle's got to go to the Google every time. What? All right, quick one. We'll come back. Kravitz, top of the hour. Your calls on the other side. Yeah. 7-3 Reds fans over the Cubs this season. If for nothing else, you can feel good about that. I'm back with you. Hour 2, straight ahead next.
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Live. An unforgettable evening of Led Zeppelin's greatest hits and deepest cuts. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. This Saturday night, 8 p.m. Hurrah Theater at Old National Center. Reserve seats on sale now at the Old National Center box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. Part of the Cricket Concert Series.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Hey, John, for Connecticut, let's all celebrate the best water. You know, it's funny. I was off yesterday, and I got a phone call about, hey, can you hook me up with somebody? Give me some Connecticut water in my new pad. And I said, yep, you need Connecticut water in the crib. You're going to get the best water in the crib, and that's exactly what we're doing. So I sent them to Joe. You got Joe, John, and Dennis, who are always coming up with these great deals like this, the Premier Series water softener, the K5 drinking water station, and with the triple threat here, the state-of-the-art leak detection system. And you get all three, and you'll take $1,500 off. Who wants the best water? you better take advantage, or at least you need to take advantage of this deal right now with Connecticut. It's awesome. Joe, John, and Dennis today, Northeast Side, Castleton, Southside, US 31 at Southport Road, and online, ConnecticutIndy.com today.
My name's Miriam. One of my biggest goals is to build my credit up. When I was younger, I didn't necessarily make the best choices, and of course it negatively impacted my credit.
At KeyBank, we believe it's never too early to start thinking about making financial progress.
They want to help you get ahead. That's huge. My credit score really has, in the last few months, jumped 60 points, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without the help of the advisors at KeyBank.
At KeyBank, you will find expert advice and easy-to-use tools that help you manage your budget and track your progress.
Financial wellness means freedom to have more in the future than you do today and to have a plan for it. Financial wellness is where I'm trying to be.
Get $300 when you open a qualifying checking account and set up direct deposit. Offer details at key.com/get300 or your local branch. KeyBank is member FDIC.
Hey, it's Tony Kanan. I'm here with Chuck Jones from BUSS Chevrolet. Chuck, summer is here and you got some hot deals.
Yes, TK. July kicks off the Bill Esther Chevrolet Takeover Sale.
The Takeover Sale is in full swing. Boom!
Boom is right. During July, you can take over the low payments on any vehicle with down payments cheaper than a tank of gas. Or we've got 0% financing on all new Chevys for up to 84 months.
Chuck, now's the time to find new roads to BUSS Chevy at 465 in Michigan Road or online at BUSSChevy.com.
Hey, got a great idea for you this weekend. Hey, it's JMV, and how about checking out the brand new Helium Comedy Club and former UFC star turned comedian Brendan Schaub. You guys have told me how much you like this dude, and we're going to get him on the show later on this week. But Brendan Schaub takes the stage for 5 big shows Thursday through Saturday. You know Brendan from his appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience, one of the most popular, if not the most popular podcast out there, and as the co-host of the Fighter and the Kid podcast too. Helium Comedy Club, located downtown at the corner of Georgia and Meridian. That is next to Burger Study in the Circle Center Mall. It is a fantastic place. What a great time this weekend to check it out. For more info on upcoming shows or tickets, visit heliumcomedy.com. That's heliumcomedy.com. Helium Comedy Club. Eat, drink, and be entertained.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Robert Kirby says they sell the American Standard brand because American Standard listens to the techs who install and service their products.
We went down to the factory and they want your feedback. Being in the field, you can actually see some things that they could change on the product to make it better. And right there on the line, I mean, they actually take your input.
Call Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning at 317-892-3614. Kirby is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis. Nationals, Braves, Sunday Night Baseball. The coverage begins at 6 on FM 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Can you feel the tension in the air right now?
On 1070, The Fan.
I got tickets to give away a little bit later on. Train and this group, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center, that's coming up Sunday, July 21st. I'm going to do that right now. I'll do that a little bit later on. Goo Goo Dolls and Train for you coming up this weekend. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. Rake's going to join us a little bit earlier. Thanks to both Chris and JJ on the show yesterday. Dan Burke was on, Pacers assistant coach. Brian Windhorst on from ESPN. Really good show among others. I think Bud Selig was on. How was Bud Selig yesterday with them, Kyle?
He was really good.
I didn't know how Bud Selig would be as an interview, but I'm glad that went over. Because Chris called me over the weekend. He goes, what are we going to talk to Bud Selig about? And I said, just be yourself. But no, Chris and JJ were fantastic yesterday. Podcast for everybody they talked to up right now, especially all this Pacer stuff at 1070thefan.com. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he's from The Athletic, and it seems like they hire somebody new about every hour. Bob Kravitz joins us right now. Are you guys on a hourly hiring spree right now or what?
I think what they're operating on is every 10 minutes we hire another man, woman, or child.
Which is nothing wrong with it.
Unbelievable.
Yes, it is. It is
a monster, and I think it's really exciting for sports journalism and ultimately for the readers, because I think it's a hell of a product. And I was a subscriber before I joined it, and still have the highest regard for what they're doing.
Hey, I don't know if you know anything about it, and if you don't, I understand. But what is the business model that they're capable of doing what they're doing as far as hiring? Do you know?
Well, I mean, they've got lots of seed money, from venture capitalists, and basically the idea is just to do it one subscriber at a time. We don't accept ads. I may be speaking out of school because I'm just happy if the paycheck shows up every couple of weeks. But honestly, that they're trying to just build it through subscribers, and and I think that's why it's such a good reading experience. Not only do you have really, really top-notch writers and reporters, but it's a real clean reading experience. You don't have stuff popping up on your screen every 10 seconds, which I find really annoying, and it makes it difficult to read. But, it's an app that's so easy to use that even I figured it out.
It's Bob Kravitz of The Athletic, and he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Your latest, and what inspired me to lob you a phone call before the show, is about the Pacers. And the Pacers, in your opinion, stuck in purgatory, and the NBA is to blame. And I'm sure we've had this type of conversation before, but clearly in this piece you go a little bit more in depth, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just, and I don't know how you change it. I'm not sure that the NBA necessarily wants to change the model. I mean, in a perfect world, you have a hard cap. Would you ever in a million years get the NBA Players Association to agree to something like that? Probably not. So it's kind of a pipe dream. But it just seems to me that you've got, granted, there are a couple of quote-unquote smaller market but high-revenue teams, Portland, Utah, who are going to be really, really good next year. But I just think for teams like Indiana and Memphis, when you can't even get a meeting with second-tier free agents, that makes your life really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know this too. Chris Middleton didn't want anything to do with him. Tobias Harris didn't have any interest in him, turned him down as well. And, when you talk to Kevin, when I talk to Kevin, these are one of the topics. You have to be so much better at what you do than anybody else, because if you ran it like the clown show that's the Lakers – here, I mean, you'll never survive. You'd never get up off the mat from that. But considering you're the Lakers and you can do that, I mean, hell, a snap of a finger and you're back in business in L.A.
Oh, that's exactly it. I mean, if you're the Pacers, your margin for error is minimal at best. And, you've got to ace every offseason. You've got to be great in the draft. You're usually You're usually not drafting in the lottery, so that's a challenge. And you've got to ace every trade, because you're not going to get those top-notch guys through free agency, generally speaking. I mean, David West is the biggest name free agent that the Pacers have ever received or ever signed. So, yeah, it's problematic. You've got to be that much better than everybody else. I will say, on the Pacers' behalf, that they have overachieved based on, dollar, for what they've done, for the amount of money that they can spend. I think they've done an extraordinary job, and to make the playoffs however many times, 20 some odd times out of the last 30 years, is pretty remarkable.
So, I mean, besides, the hard cap and what you mentioned, or trying to help out, organizations like the Pacers, what can be done? Because I would agree with you. I just think you kind of got to just go with it and do what you can't do. And I think that Kevin and Chad and Peter and the gang, I think that they're resigned to that fact. That said, I mean, a guy like Oladipo that's got all these league connections, I mean, you got to always be recruiting, don't you? If you're a guy like that.
Absolutely.
And that is, I think that is the top level, most necessary thing. That's not winning, Bob, and having that winning culture is that.
Agreed. And the thing they need more than anything else is for Victor Oladipo to blow up the way he did 2 years ago and started to again last year before he got injured. And they need him to become the type of player that other guys want to play with. Now, how good of everybody tampers. Everybody tampers. And if you can get yourself a big-time free agent and you got to pay $500,000 in tampering fine, it's really the cost of doing business. It's really probably worth your while. But they do need Victor when he's healthy and when he's got his game back together to go out and be like, one of the elite players and start doing some recruiting.
It's Bob Kravitz of The Athletic. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So with all that in mind, where do you think this Pacer team is coming basically off of free agency? Now, I guess T.J. McConnell's name is still floating around out there with nothing concrete. But what do you think about the work that Kevin Pritchett and the gang did this offseason?
Well, I think they made the best of what is annually a tough situation. I really like Malcolm Brogdon. I think he fits here in Indiana perfectly, both on the floor and off. To be honest with you, T.J. Warren, I don't see a lot of Phoenix Suns games. I know he scored 18 points per game last season. He's a good shooter from three. Where he'll fit on a really good team that demands that you play defense, I don't know. Jeremy Lamb is another wing guy who's going to help. I like T.J. McConnell, too. I think as a third or fourth point guard, if you just need somebody, you got foul issues or what have you, I think you can continue to sustain with him. I think it all depends on when Victor comes back and in what kind of condition Victor is in. If he comes back in January and they can put together a nice little run, the second, maybe the last third of the season, I think they can win 45-48 again. I think they'll be hard-pressed to get a top four spot. I still think there are better teams out there, but I think they will be what they've been for a very long time, a very nice, competitive, fun-to-watch team. But, it's going to be a very tough season for Nate McMillan to get all these guys playing together because this roster is completely changed.
Yeah, not only at the top, but when you think about it, they got a lot of guys that are going to need to give them rotational minutes that haven't had to in the past. And one is, and I try not to take too much away from Summer League, but you mentioned T.J. McConnell. There's another reason. You watch Aaron Holiday, and he was all discombobulated and out of sorts in Summer League, and he's a guy that is going to be counted on. Yeah, T.J. Leaf is going to be counted on. You're talking about rotational minutes that it's a must. It's not just, all right, so you didn't make it, we'll put you back on the bench, and we'll do this at another time. You have to have them.
Absolutely. And look, I'm not too bent out of shape about Holiday or all the Pacers really stinking it up during the Summer League. I don't think that's a terrible thing. But, I think Holiday is going to be a solid rotational guy. T.J. Leaf, I'm still not sold on, and I don't know that the Pacers are necessarily sold on him just yet. I think this is a make-or-break season for him.
What the whole Goga situation, does that intrigue you at all as to why he, that was it on this end? Was it on his end not being prepared? What did all this come down to?
They were in contact with Goga's people, and they have people on staff who will help, get you through the whole visa process. I am not terribly familiar with how the visa process works in the country of Georgia, so I'm not sure where the breakdown was, but I would guess it probably was on their end as opposed to the Pacers' end.
Occasionally
it would have been nice to have them.
Yeah, occasionally you'll hear maybe they did not want him to play, but I never got that indication from Kevin or anybody else that they did not want him to participate out there.
No. I think they absolutely did, and I think it was a disappointment. But look, it's just a couple of games in Summer League. He'll catch up. I don't worry about a guy who's, this guy's been a pro since he's 15, 16 years old. He's very much like Bojan was here in Indiana. So I don't worry too much about that. another thing that concerns me, just as I'm thinking about it with the Pacers, is I think they go into this season trying to find out whether Domas and Miles can play together, and I think that's going to be one of the ongoing sagas of the season, whether they're going to play them together and how effective they can be, because in the short windows of time that we've seen them play together, it hasn't been all that good.
What is your belief? Do you think they can sustain playing both those guys major minutes at the same time?
I'll believe it when I see it. They had a few moments. I don't have all the analytics in front of me, and even if I did, I wouldn't know what they meant. But the eye test tells me that they just aren't a real good fit together, and I think it's going to be up to Nate and his coaches to find a way for them both to work within the parameters of this offense. And like I said, I haven't seen it just yet.
So Kevin told me, I just asked him straight out back after the draft if they were both going to be on the roster to start the season, and he said, absolutely. I'm going to take it further with you. Do you think they'll both be on the roster after the February trade deadline?
After the trade deadline? No, I don't. I think that, the Goga addition, if he shows that he's a solid rotation guy, I have a feeling that Sabonis might be the odd man out. That's why this is going to be so interesting to watch throughout the course of the season. If these two guys can show that they can fit together nicely, and then have Goga come off the bench and be that big guy off the bench, I think maybe you hold on to him. But I have a tendency to believe that Sabonis. If you're asking me to make a bet, I'd place a small wager on Domas being dealt at the deadline. Just my guess.
So Bob Kravitz of The Athletic, he's joining us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I want to switch gears to the Colts because we're approaching camp time up at Grand Park in Westfield. Sorry, Westfield for that. Anyway. Yeah. You've seen everything nationally points to the Colts being the love interest of everybody going into 2019.
Everybody.
Where do you set the bar for this team? Because I think that this squad needs to make an AFC title game. Would you agree?
I think, I think they're at that point. Look, I think they're about 6 teams in the NFL, 7 teams that have reasonable Super Bowl aspirations. But you say that, and it's preseason, and nothing has happened yet, and teams always come out of nowhere to make a run. So it's so hard to say. But I honestly think that they can be a 10-6 team once again and be a better team that can go deeper into the playoffs because, that schedule with 6 quarterbacks in the top 10 in QBR is going to be a bear.
Yeah, I'd agree. I just think, even besides the quarterbacks, I just think the teams in general that we're talking about with these quarterbacks are as balanced a teams as you're going to find across the board of the NFL.
Oh, absolutely. And again, they faced one quarterback last year in the top 10 in QBR. That was Tom Brady, and that was the game where the Colts had like 13 guys on their roster. Everybody was hurt, and they got lit up pretty good. But, that's why I like what Chris Ballard did in the draft, bringing in a couple of linebackers, bringing in Bonogu, who's probably going to be a defensive end, bringing in Rocky Sin. I thought they needed to really concentrate on defense and bring in guys who could really fit the Eberflus package. So I think they're in pretty good shape. I mean, I got to do a national radio show a little bit later, and they're going to ask me about, the Colts being everybody's darling. And quite frankly, I see it. I can see why. They were the hot commodity at the end of last year, despite the loss to Kansas City. And there's no reason to think that, this team, especially with Andrew Luck in his second year in the Reich Sirianni system, he's just going to get better. I honestly think, cut and paste, I think within 2 years, he's going to be MVP of this league.
Yeah, and that that means Super Bowl time. So the next 3 years, ESPN put out, this is going to be the best team, best organization for the next 3 years. Is it easy to believe that this team for sure is going to punch through to a Super Bowl in the next 3 years for you?
Yeah, it's very reasonable because they've morphed into a much younger team, much more athletic. Part of the challenge, I think, is keeping your top assistants. I mean, Eberflus was up for a job, a couple of jobs, I believe, last year. And will they be able to keep him? Will they be able to keep Sirianni? Although, I think Eberflus is probably the more pressing issue. So, but yeah, they have a young team. They're not going for quick fixes, although Justin Houston is kind of a short-term answer, they hope. But yeah, I think in the next 3 years, this team has a very good chance of winning a Super Bowl. The only thing that needs to happen is for Tom freaking Brady to retire.
And I don't know if that's ever going to happen, though. Do you?
No,
maybe he won't.
I'll be 67 years old, and he'll be talking about how he's got 2 more good years left. So.
Yeah, it's also funny, too, when you think about it. You mentioned Eberflus, and Sirianni's clearly going to get some love, just like, anybody in that offensive situation, even if it's more Reich than it is anybody else right there guiding the offense. But the other guy, Ed Dodds from he's going to be a guy that's going to, to me, be heavily sought after next year in the offseason.
No doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, you always have that brain drain from the top teams. And I just, I'm going to write about this once the camp starts. I see no reason not to be bullish on this team. I mean, there are things they can do better. Certainly they need to be better at rushing the passer, which I think is something they have addressed. And I like to see guys like Tyquan Lewis and who's the other guy, Teray.
Yeah.
Come on their second year and be bigger contributors. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this group, and I don't think they have any huge holes necessarily in past years. Well, just as an example, 20 years in a row, they've had an undrafted free agent make the team. I'm not sure that's going to happen this year because I think they have enough depth that unless a guy really shows out during the preseason camp, I have a feeling that there won't be room for an undrafted free agent, which I think says a lot about what Ballard has built.
Hey, I'm not trying to get yelled at by anybody around here, but I'm just curious. Do you think that this era of Colts football has a chance to be equal to or greater than the Polian, Dungy, Manning era?
It's a great question. It's one I ought to write about.
Well, you can write it down. You don't even have to give me credit. I'm just, yeah.
Hey, just give me a minute. Let me jot that down. Look, I think what the Colts accomplished during that 10-year stretch, or however long you want to look at it, was virtually unprecedented. Now, can the Colts win a Super Bowl or even 2 Super Bowls? Yeah, and then they would surpass them. But to be as good as they were for that period of time, boy, that's a pretty high bar to get over. So I think I think they can win multiple Super Bowls. Whether they can be as consistently, overwhelmingly good as they were in the Peyton years, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, you have a definitive quarterback, you have a definitive wide receiver, and you add Mathis to the equation with Freeney. That is difficult, and I think this too, because I feel the same way. There was so much losing that went along with this franchise since it got here at that point in time in '84 that will always be viewed as now it's just kind of a statement of expectation, right? You move on from that. That's what's expected, and it wasn't expected back then, and that's always, to me, going to be more of a love affair than anything else around here with great results. So that's kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah, and look, to me, the greatest moment in Colts history, Indianapolis Colts history, was without question the win over New England. Can they replicate that? Sure, they can replicate it, but there's nothing like the first time. And this was a franchise that came into a city that was all about basketball and racing. And, that Peyton Manning team or his teams made Indianapolis a football city. So I don't think you can ever minimize that.
So Bob Kravitz, The Athletic, his latest that you need to read is regarding the Pacers and stuck in purgatory, and it's the NBA's fault. That's a must-read right there. And hopefully sometime soon you can read his comparison to the past with Manning and Poling and Dungy to what we have right now with the present Colts. I'll be patiently awaiting
I won't
it.
give you any credit.
No worries.
Whatsoever.
No worries, man. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it.
Man. Take care.
So Bob Kravitz of The Athletic on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Dan King sent me all the Racks restaurants. Joliet, Illinois, in the Maycrest Shopping Center, Lancaster, Ohio, Circleville, Ohio, Ironton, Ohio. For Jay, my man Jay down in Jackson County wanted to know that. There you go, Jay. I wanted a quick, and I sent this out via Twitter last night with the news, and I'm from, obviously, Greene County. Linton is a part of Greene County. I have many friends in and around Linton. Yeah, Bloomfield, just Raleigh, all over the county because that's my home. And as much as we sometimes joke about it, I love it. And I love the folks down there, and they are going through just a terrible time now with the passing of Maddie Moore. Maddie Moore, if you remember, made a selection for the Colts back in the spring NFL draft. She was been over at Riley. She passed away yesterday. And the one thing out of all this is, certainly incredibly sad. She's 17 years old, which is awful. But what I have seen from all the high schools and the schools and the competitors, the rivals in my area all coming together to celebrate her life is inspirational. It is inspirational. And nothing is going to take away the sadness, but I did want to mention this because, again, what I have seen from everybody in my area has been inspirational, and it has been all because of this young lady. So I certainly wanted to mention that. Within all the sadness, which is ridiculous because of the 17 years, it's just way, way, way too young. And it hurts your feelings, but the inspiration of watching people come together in an era in which it is so tough to see that, and it rarely takes place, that's pretty special. Quick break. Got a lot more to come. Greg Rakestraw is going to join me at the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll jump back to a little sports conversation with you. 239-1070. Other side next.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Located out in Danville and serving Hendricks and surrounding counties, owner Danny Reinhardt says this truly is a family business.
My 3 children, Kevin, Corey, and Kim, they all work for me. I have another gentleman that's been with me since I started, Stumpy, and he still works for me. And then Brian come to work for us in 2006, and so we really, truly are a family business.
Give Reinhardt a call at 745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Hey, it's Tony Kanan. I'm here with Chuck Jones from USS Chevrolet. Chuck, summer is here, and you got some hot deals.
Yes, TK. July kicks off the Bill Esther Chevrolet Takeover Sale.
The Takeover Sale is in full swing. Boom!
Boom is right. During July, you can take over the low payments on any vehicle with down payments cheaper than a tank of gas. Or, we've got 0% financing on all new Chevys for up to 84 months.
Chuck, now's the time to find new roads to BOSS Chevy at 465 in Michigan Road or online at BOSSChevy.com.
Brad Paisley, World Tour.
This is where the cowboy gets bucked.
This Saturday, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center with special guests Chris Lane and Riley Green. Brad Paisley. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. This Saturday, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center.
In 2019, Amstel Light is teeing up a great opportunity for golfers. Through a partnership with GolfNow.com, the #1 golf tee time booking site, golfers can save $20 on a round of golf and enter for a chance to win a $100 GolfNow greens fee credit. When you finish your round on the course, you're invited to share another great round with Amstel Light. Text Amstel to 68255 for more information. 68255. Amstel Light, White Plains, New York. Please drink responsibly.
Tuesdays are the worst. They're all that stands between you and the downhill part of the week. But now they're a lot less worse, because Wing Tuesdays at B-Dubs are buy one, get one free traditional wings. So Monday, you may kick off the week. Wednesday, you may have a cool nickname. Thursday, you might be the almost weekend. But watch your back, because Tuesdays just officially became Wing Tuesdays. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar! Buy one traditional wings order and get one of equal value free. Participation and promotional details vary by location. Check in with your favorite Buffalo Wild Wings to learn more about this offer.
Your next haircut now has a shortcut. Introducing the Sport Clips Haircuts app. That's right, now the cut you want is just a tap away. Just download the app, check in at your neighborhood Sport Clips, and choose your Guy Smart stylist, and you're done. We'll text you when your stylist is almost ready. Then head to Sport Clips for a championship haircut experience. It's home field advantage for your hair. No appointment needed. Just download the Sport Clips app and check in. And don't forget a beard trim. Sport Clips. You choose the cut, we cut the weight.
You forget something?
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be able to pick up Braden tonight after practice.
Oh, did something come up at work?
Nah, not even going to make it in today.
Why? What's going on?
Well, I'm coming up on some construction in about a quarter mile. I've already started ignoring the signs. In a minute, I'll force my way through traffic while texting. I'll pull the wheel a little too far and drive right through the barrels where I'm going to hit a few workers. One of them is going to get killed, so then I'm going to be arrested and charged with vehicular manslaughter.
No one plans on having an accident, but you can plan to avoid one. Read the signs. Slow down. Stay alert.
This is Kelly Watson, business manager of Labor's Local 1112. Every year, not only do accidents in the construction zone kill and injure workers, they can also cost you, the driver, thousands of dollars and time in jail.
A message from Indiana Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
You finally decided to get that new car, and all you want's a fair deal, a dependable set of wheels, and a dealer who will take care of you after the sale. Penske Chevrolet at 96 and Keystone knows that you have a choice, and that's why this is their mission. At Penske Chevrolet, you get top-notch support after that great deal. Jay Smith and Brett Rosie guarantee it, and in addition, you get a vehicle that won J.D. Power's Most Dependable Small Car, Compact SUV, or Large Heavy-Duty Pickup Award in 2019. No matter if you're buying or leasing, Penske has you covered. The 2019 Equinox is just $199 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles a year, or you can get 0% financing for 60 months. $199 a month will put you into the brand new Silverado LD for 36 months and 10,000 miles, or get 0% financing for 84 months and own it for good. The lease on the 2019 Traverse is only $299 a month, and if you're a Corvette owner and would like a 2019 Indy 500 Corvette parade car, you can take $12,500 off at Penske Chevrolet. That's 96 in Keystone and online at PenskeChevyIndy.com. Chevy finding roads.
Summer's here. Book a midweek staycation today. Four Winds Lakeside Inn and Marina. 3 nights, $249. Book online. fourwindslakeside.com or call 812-824-BOAT.
Sports with Dan Dockett.
Dick Vitale joins us. Talk, if you don't mind, your relationship with Jimmy V.
Jimmy, when I called him up, Dan, he says, Dick, do you think I'm worried about coming to Summerton? If I had convinced him, you got to come. Mike Krzyzewski flew him on a plane. But we carried him up to the stage. And I watched him give that speech, and that speech now has played an incredible role in us raising $225 million for research of every kind of cancer.
Dan Dockett, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 at 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Nachos, lemon heads, my dad's boat. You won't go down
on FM 107.5 at 1070 The Fan.
Bob Gravitz, podcast 1070thefan.com. Heat of the Summer by Young the Giant. Re-entry. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. JMV Ebron being upset about Madden. Redding confirms to me that he thinks he had a better year than he did. I want to stop right there, though, Steve. He had a really good year, but it doesn't mean you tighten some stuff up. And that's why I think it is fair to ask if Ebron does not approach the type of touchdown numbers that he put up that everybody talked about a year ago. Is that going to be an issue? Something we'll talk about with Greg Rakestraw coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. Might that be an issue? Could that be an issue? The other thing that I want to bring up, too, is Carson Edwards, and again, it's just Summer League, and I say that every single time. But any Pacer fans think, yeah, I mean, maybe if you coulda, shoulda, woulda, or is it just Summer League? Yeah, this one I think is specifically for Pacer fans right here. Just for you Pacer fans. Shoulda? Or just Summer League? Shoulda drafted, when available, round 2, or just Summer League? Just Summer League. I'm going to put that up there as a Connecticut Water question of the day. He does look like that he's going to be able to do some things at the next level. But again, it's just Summer League. Shoulda? Or just Summer League? You tell me. Hey, JMV, this is from Ian. I quit playing Madden because I have a job. I'm assuming a lot of people probably still play video games even though they have a job. JMV, for Yasiel Puig, it must be the bat licking. A dude plays his butt off. I like that. He's fun to watch. I like that. And it really feels good when the Reds beat the Cubs. It does. It does. And we'll see if they can do that again later on tonight. But you know what? Here's what's funny about it as Reds fans. And Reds fans, you know this right now. It feels really good to have a 7-3 advantage of the season over the Cubs. But it almost makes you feel worse because of where they are right now. They should be better. Why are they not better? That drives you nuts. I mean, nuts. Because it's just, it's always something, nothing ever, or I should say this, rarely do things all crack at the same time for them. They should be better. Completely agree. Just always something when things go haywire. A lack of hitting, relief pitching, manager decisions, it's just always something. Seems like it, at least. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not wrong. I'm absolutely right. Reds fans know me to be absolutely right on that. JMV, what are people talking about? I have not seen a rack since 1995 from Brian Spencer. Yeah, apparently they're in Ohio. There's one in Illinois, brother. We always want more of what we cannot have right now. Oh, it's easy. I'm telling you, if somebody were to pop up a damn burger chef someplace, people would go crazy. I mean, crazy. If you would build and somebody would get the rights to Burger Chef and put up a building and put Burger Chef on it, people would go nuts. We always want what we cannot have, and especially when it comes in our minds from the greatness of the past. It's from Bob Borden. I don't understand why Ebron is upset. His rating of 86 is up from 76 last year. Yeah, and you guys are all pointing out Brooks Koepka's girlfriend. I did not watch the ESPYs. Goodness. Goodness gracious. What's happening here? I think I'll wear this. Well done. That is fantastic right there. For my man Chad, I missed the racks on 31 just north of Greenwood. I mean, you can kind of tell where they once were, right? You can kind of tell because they have kind of like greenhouse-looking glass curvature going in their architecture. You can kind of tell where the racks once was. From Michael Speaker, JMV, 74 degrees during the day up and downstairs. That's way, way too damn hot, Michael. 71 downstairs at night, 69 upstairs. I can get that. I can't do any 74 in the afternoon stuff. It was like 80. My AC kind of crapped out yesterday, and it was 80 in my house, and I'm not having it. This is ridiculous. And I had to go buy a fan. You know the last time I bought a fan? JMV, we all wanted Jack in the Box, and now look how that's turned out. That is so true. They were like, it looped around to the one in Greenwood. There was a drive-through line that looped around the one in Greenwood like 3 times. I mean, 3 stinking times. JMV, any logical Pacer fan knows it's just summer. I bet you I could find a lot of people that wish that Carson Edwards were in the Pacer uniform right now. I bet I can, even beyond Boilermaker fans. But I do agree with that particular logic. That's why I brought it up. James says, I quit playing video games and I found out female. All right. No, you did not. You were still playing video games even after you found that out. James, James, the chicks weren't running at you. Oh, James, please stop playing video games. We want you, James. Oh, James, put down the Madden controllers. We got to have you, James. Nobody was calling out James. Nobody. From the Clapster, 74 degrees in the living room probably means you have a Davenport. There is no doubt about that. I think, Kyle, what are you, 25? You're like going on 55 over there, brother. That is so damn true. You have a Davenport. It's too cold in here. And you probably say 100 instead of 100. Do you say 100 or 100? If you say 100, you probably have it 74 in your living room right now. You say 100?
100.
You say 100.
Say normal.
100. I got 100. Yeah, I do, Jeff. It just happens, man. Hey, JMV, what makes people think Edwards isn't going to play with the same tenacity, heart, and drive once the season actually gets underway? That's not going to change just because Summer League is over. I'm serving well. He goes at it hard. I would agree. I just want to know if there might be any second thoughts about, maybe. I mean, he was here, and he didn't know him. He was one of the first players in. If you remember that first day that they had Summer League workouts, I went over there, and they had my man D. Windler, and then Carson Edwards was in the second group. I'm just asking for the sake of asking. Any remorse there right now? Or, again, is it just Summer League? Joe is going to answer the question at 239-1070. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, I'm just watching a police officer take a dolly out of the middle of the highway here.
Well, good. Yeah.
Little excitement on the drive home today.
Yeah, that can happen right there. You got to get that stuff out of the highway. You don't want anybody to hit that stuff for sure. What do you got, Joe?
Hey, didn't the Celtics just bet $4.5 million on Carson Edwards? Guaranteed?
Well, they guaranteed him some money there. They did.
I think that means they believe he's more in Summer League. And I am a big Boiler fan, but, man, I've seen him make shots from all over the court.
It looks like it's translatable. I completely agree with you, Joe. I mean, his game looks like that. Okay, it is easy to say it's just Summer League, but it looks like that it can translate to the NBA.
I want to see him pop a three or fake a three and go by somebody in the regular season, and then I'll be completely on board. But I hope the Pacers didn't miss one, but I'm glad he's got a great opportunity where he is.
Yeah, that one would really, and thank you, Joe, that one would really suck. I think we all could understand, right? We could all understand Romeo. Yeah, get the hell out of Dodge. Go someplace else. But the Carson Edwards one would be tough. Now, again, they did that because they wanted assets. They needed assets because of Malcolm Brogdon. But that would be a tough one. So I just get a text here, Kyle. Hey, hi, my name is, I'm calling you in regards to an official trying to test entry form that we received from you that you submitted in the last 18 months at a local restaurant. I just won $25,000. What are the odds that that's true? First of all, can you imagine me in a local restaurant submitting anything? Nobody submits anything in a local restaurant getting carryout. I need to call Greg and find out the details. What do you think? Think I just won $25K, or is that just a load of complete and utter BS?
I'm surprised they left you a voicemail about it.
Well, they left it. I got to contact Greg. Greg said, we're going to contact Greg at the top of the hour, just not the one that's saying I won $25K. Well, tell you what. If I won $25K, we'll have one big hellacious party. I'll throw down like $5K of it for a party. There's no way I just won $25K. Let me leave you a message. And again, you imagine me. Hold on a second. Let me fill out this form and drop it in here while I'm getting carryout. Like I did at Giordano's. I got carryout from Giordano's. Giordano's is something you got to get and you got to eat it right there, don't you? Don't you? I mean, I don't. Like Mike Blake likes Giordano's. And part of the problem is my kids will only eat cheese pizza. So you get that deep dish cheese. And you just, come on, man. If you're just going to get a cheese pizza, let's go get something. Let's go get a Tony's out of the freezer at Kroger or something. What the hell you need? You got to wait here for an hour for this Giordano's cheese. You a Giordano's guy over there?
I had it today for lunch.
Oh, over here?
Some leftovers from this weekend.
We still got the deep dish cheese from Giordano's. Carry out. Do you do carry out from there?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it
That's
home.
one of the things you kind of have to have, though, right there. It's like you don't. This is weird because you have all these places now that deliver. Like I saw on television, Denny's delivers. By the time you get your Denny's delivery for breakfast, I'm assuming that's what you're getting. How's that whole thing going to look? Not good?
You really can't get any breakfast delivered. You got to eat it right there.
It's like getting a milkshake delivered or getting a Blizzard.
Yeah,
Can you imagine that? Yeah, I'm going to deliver a Blizzard to me. A quick shout out to Chuck, who's having a Frisch's Big Boy, which I absolutely love right there. That's Great American Ballpark style, which is fantastic. Quick one, Greg, top of the hour. Goo Goo Dolls and train tickets for you. They have a show coming up at Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center on Sunday. Thank you, Kyle and Kimmy, and my friends over at Live Nation. Appreciate it. Back with you next.
It's your chance to play a round of golf with Jeff Rickard and Kevin Bowen at the Legends Golf Club next Monday, courtesy of Franciscan Health Orthopedics. For more, 1070thefan.com.
You thought the beef and cheddar couldn't get any more delicious. And then Arby's added bacon to it, and you thought, oh, okay, but it can't get any better than that. And then Arby's made them 2 for $6. And then you thought, okay, but no, it can't get any better than that. And you were right. The bacon, beef, and cheddar, 2 for $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
At participating Arby's for a limited time.
John here, this time of year, it's hot and humid outside. It's going to get worse. 98, maybe near triple digits on Saturday, right? Making sure your AC unit's running the way that it should at 844-1-HOUR. It's 844-1-HOUR today. And if you need a repair job, they'll give you a free service call, 844-1-HOUR. It's 1 hour heating and air conditioning at 844-1-HOUR today.
Yingling Golden Pilsner, a beer so crisp, refreshing, and smooth. When you crack one open, it makes any occasion golden. A night out with the ladies.
I might call it a night. A night to remember.
Game day with your buddies.
Beer man, Pilsner here. And here, and here.
Happy hours come to life.
Could I get a Yingling Golden Pilsner? You know what? Make it a bucket.
Yes, with Yingling Golden Pilsner, card games get wilder.
I should probably fold. But I'd rather go all in.
Even backyard bonfires feel more alive.
Hey guys, I brought my guitar. And my drums.
So no matter where the day takes you, crack open a smooth, refreshing 6 generations in the making Yingling Golden Pilsner and make your day golden. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Dan Dockich here, and it's summer, and we are all itching to enjoy the summer sun. But before you grab your clubs and head to the course, I want you to learn the A, B, C, D, E signs of melanoma. If you have moles with irregular borders or uneven color, get them checked out. Any large moles, as well as those that change over time, should also be seen by your doctor. If you have a family history of skin cancer or spend a lot of time in the sun, like so many of us do in the summer, you should also get checked. If you've been diagnosed with skin cancer, call for a second opinion. Franciscan Health provides a comprehensive approach to treating melanoma with a multidisciplinary team of oncologists, melanoma surgeons, and dedicated nurse navigator. So you're not going through this alone. To schedule a second opinion, call 317-528-1420 or visit franciscanhealth.org/fightcancer to connect with a cancer nurse. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
It's Indiana's best. It's Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. Whatever you're looking for with the fuel efficiency from the Toyota Camry, how about the SUV, the Toyota RAV4 that's just so popular right now? All the great prices. Talk to Ben, talk to Robert about that today at Indiana's best. Andy Moore Toyota in Avon. The best prices, and it's one-stop shopping. Just 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. Tell them JMV sent you.
As a small business owner, when was the last time you considered switching internet providers?
I don't even remember. Running a business keeps me pretty busy.
Let's compare your current provider to Comcast Business. Are you getting fast, reliable internet?
Sometimes.
How about a full suite of innovative services like separate Wi-Fi networks, 4G wireless backup, and advanced voice solutions?
I highly doubt it.
Sounds like Comcast Business could give you more. Make the switch to the nation's largest gig speed network now and get an amazing deal. Right now, get fast 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for paperless billing and autopay. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Monthly service charge increases by $10 without paperless billing and autopay. Offer ends 8/21/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra, subject to change. Backup limited to up to 8 hours.
It's a different kind of work week when you live out here. You need a tractor with enough power, performance, and attachments to scratch any itch. You need the Kubota BX Series, the best-selling subcompact tractor in America. Now get a BX 1880 for payments as low as $99 a month for 84 months plus a 6-year warranty. 54-inch mower deck included. Now through August 31st, 2019. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
Find a Kubota dealer near you at GoKubota.com.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Get your vehicle summer vacation ready with a free vehicle inspection, valid at participating dealers. Big O Tires, now open in Whitestown.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on the Fan. With JMV.
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Oh, this is from a Tennessee police department warning residents to stop flushing drugs down their toilet and sinks of fear they could create meth gators. Isn't there a gator horror film out right now called Crawl, maybe? I saw the original alligator in 1980. Now, this is Tennessee Police Department wanting residents to stop flushing drugs down the crappers because it could create meth gators. Quote, now our sewer guys take great pride in releasing water that is cleaner than what is in the creek, but they are not prepared for meth, according to the Loretto Police Department social media post. Ducks, geese, and other fowl frequent our treatment ponds, and we should shudder to think what one all hyped up on meth would do. Police warn that the drugs could make it far, and this is some strong damn math right here. Make it far enough that they will end up being consumed by gators in Shoal Creek. Loretto, I think, is southern Tennessee, near the Alabama border, north of Florence, north of Muscle Shoals. So I'm assuming that they are afraid that this ends up in the Tennessee River. That's classic. Meth Gators. Somebody's got to come. That's got to be a great horror film. Meth Gators. JMV, what was the reentry you just played? The reentry I just played was of Monsters and Men. Ideally for that reentry there called Alligator. Of Monsters and Men, the song is called Alligator. So, Josh, hey, JMV, not to get off my lawn guy, not to be that at all here, but the Goo Goo Dolls, one of the all-time worst names for a rock band ever. Any band names you always thought were lame band names. Of Monsters and Men just kind of jumped off the page because I just played it. So, the Goo Goo Dolls. I saw one of the shows back at Assembly Hall in Bloomington. It was the Goo Goo Dolls, it was No Doubt, and it was Bush. It's from Mike Taylor. I think Meth Gators are opening up for Steel Panther. Steel Panther, by the way, is coming back here locally in November. Steel Panther is so fun to watch. I mean, just fantastic. JMV, do you think all the love surrounding the Colts should be dropped on this team going into this season? I do. Listen, I think it's realistic to believe. Now, as we also talked about, because Daniel also brought this up earlier, I think to me, you also look at, all right, it's a product of the schedule last year, but this team, they have a lot of, as Rick Venturi says, ambient players. I mean, they are developing those right now. So, yeah, to me, the bar is set at the AFC title game. Where is it for you, Colts fans? Where do you put the bar of expectations before we start camp? I say AFC title game. What say you? And I think to get to the AFC title game, that means you have to have home field advantage in the divisional round. Say you? JMV, what about Chumbawamba? Yeah, Chumbawamba's probably pretty lame. JMV, Denny's delivery is for the people who are too embarrassed to be there before 3 a.m. and sober. I could get that. JMV, I think I agree with some Boilermaker fans out there. I think that the Pacers are going to look back and be disappointed that they did not draft Carson Edwards. I think, in fact, a lot of teams will. So you think it's more Carson than it is just Summer League? I'm not going to say there's going to be any disappointment yet. Carson Edwards did what he had to do, but do I think that he can fit into, especially with a team coached by Brad Stevens in Boston? Yeah. I do. I don't know if it's going to be enough for the Pacers to look back and go, oh, man. But it is still just Summer League. I would agree with that. You, me, other side, Goo Goo Dolls, train tickets, other side, Greg Rakestraw, other side, and a busy 5. You will not want to miss what we got coming up for you next.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
On the Payless Liquors Hotline, our buddy Scott Pollard.
Hey, let's hold hands and go join a team together. It'll be fun. Oh my God, you're my best buddy. Let's grab our teddy bears and our blankies and we'll have a sleepover in LA. Yay! That's the difference between my time and my life.
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe. Weekday mornings, 7 to 10. Only on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Hi, I'm Tom Shane. Engagement rings with a classic look will never go out of style. Classic rings have clean lines that give them a simple elegance. Shane Company has the state's largest selection of exclusive engagement rings in every price range. Whether classic or contemporary, choose a unique yet timeless ring in platinum, 14-karat white gold, yellow gold, or our signature shade of rose gold. The simplicity of the classic design will make your center stone look larger than life. Select from thousands of hand-picked natural diamonds, rubies, or sapphires. We have them in every shape, from traditional round or oval to trending emerald cut and pear shape. With our direct sourcing, you'll get the most beautiful engagement ring with a breathtaking center stone at the best price in town. Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Live. An unforgettable evening of Led Zeppelin's greatest hits and deepest cuts. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. This Saturday night, 8 p.m. Miran Theater at Old National Center. Reserve seats on sale now at the Old National Center box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. Part of the Cricket Concert Series.
For the extraordinary Hoosiers who grow our food, feed our minds, make us safe, and keep us free. An extraordinary celebration. Your Indiana State Fair salutes heroes in the heartland with a party of heroic proportions featuring fantasy superheroes and Hoosier homegrown real ones. Heroes in the Heartland, presented by Indiana Donor Network. Your Indiana State Fair, August 2nd through 18th.
Do you have Medicare and Indiana Medicaid? With Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, you could be getting so much more. Anthem may provide up to $2,000 towards dental, $0 copays on many prescriptions, and up to $1,320 for over-the-counter healthcare items. Get more out of your Medicare and Medicaid coverage. Switch today. Call 866-649-8826. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is an HMO special needs plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield depends on contract renewal.
All right, I had Window Nation out to my house, and I got to tell you, I am so incredibly glad that I did. They are true professionals, and they came out, and it was quick, and it was easy. I've said forever that I like easy. Well, I do. We ordered a couple of doors and some windows on a patio that we have. Why? Well, simple, because it was too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter. We couldn't use the space, and we wanted to. Window Nation is solving that problem for us. Remember, buy one window, get one free. There is no limit, plus 000. No down payment, no interest, and no payments for a 24 full months. That's 2 full years of no payments. I only endorse companies that I use. How do you want to go to Window Nation? 866-90-NATION, or go online, windownation.com. Do what I did. It was so easy, so great.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis. The NTT IndyCar Series races at Iowa Speedway. Saturday evening at 6:30 on FM 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I want to get to the bottom of this. ASAFP.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, I'm not sure if I want 25K just yet. That's what this phone call says. I think it's one of those numbers where it only works on your phone. Is that what you gather over there, Kyle? Hold on one second here. Let's see. Let's see.
Hello, and thank you for calling
Wait a minute. That's how I won $25K just now? Is that that? You're telling me not to do it. You don't want me to do that, do you?
Well,
I do.
I don't want you,
I will say
going
this.
down the train and then you got 15 calls a day from these people saying, hey, you won $25K.
The last time I did that and tried to, like, turn the table, phone-wise, I got in trouble for it. I will say that. That's pretty funny, though. Bob Kravitz a little bit earlier. We talked about everything Pacers-wise. He's got a new athletic column regarding the Pacers stuck in purgatory, and it's the NBA's fault. You can check it out at The Athletic. JMV of Carson Edwards gets off to a more successful early start than Romeo in Boston. How long before we start hearing the horrible body language from Langford? Kid just seems like a lack of mental toughness. Yeah, I don't think they're putting Langford on the clock right now, though. I think he'll be fine. I think that's one of the better spots where he could land. Full disclosure. Hey, JMV, 3 weeks before the NCAA tournament, Edwards went to a $1 million up in Minnesota, and Boilermaker fans were ready to run him off. So you get that side with him also. I bet we don't hear much of him when the regular season starts. So there's a more of a summer league thing right there. Hey, remind me where I was coming up on the other side. Well, the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Greg Rakestraw joins us. What do you think Carson Edwards? Carson Edwards, because you're one like me that is just summer league. But how much of what you did see, if you watched even a second of it, do you think is going to translate or could translate into his rookie season?
I think what Carson Edwards did during the NCAA tournament and summer league translates to exactly the role I thought he could play, which is an energy scorer off the bench. I think he could be the 8th, 9th, or 10th guy on that Boston Celtics team. And I think the guy they traded away in terms of Terry Rozier, I think he can be that guy in terms of points off the bench. I think he's very much an understudy to a Kemba Walker type. I think he's a guy that can get 15 minutes a game, knowing Walker's going to get the majority minutes at that kind of combo guard position in Boston.
I'd agree with you. I thought Rozier, and then I thought he does remind you a little bit of Walker. Walker certainly more crafty with the basketball, but certainly older. But it just looks like that a lot of his game could be something that would translate, I think, to the NBA, and it could become rotational. I mean, again, who knows? But I try not to get ahead of it because, again, it is just summer league, and it was a summer league where he had a great summer league, but in fact, he did not make the top 5 of the summer league. So who the hell knows?
The summer league confirmed what I thought was the case from what we saw throughout his 3 years at Purdue, but especially the NCAA tournament. He has that most, I wouldn't say underrated skill, but that most appreciated skill, that most needed skill to play professionally. That is create your own shot and make it. And Edwards can do that, which is why he will have a role in the NBA going forward.
Hey, Greg, since he's in town right now, I'll bring it up to you. Is Tim Tebow more of a sideshow or a baseball player?
I think Tim is more of a sideshow, although he should be respected for the level of baseball player he has turned himself into. I know he's hitting like a $160. And when I was filling in yesterday, I had their broadcaster on because I'm fascinated by not the Tim Tebow story, but specifically Tim Tebow as a baseball player, because this is a guy that has now been promoted 3 different times. Now, not during the course of the season, but he has worked his way from low A to high A to double A to triple A. His numbers have not been stellar at any of those levels, but good enough to move him along the food chain. His numbers have not been good this year, but the fact that you can be this good at your second best sport, and you can take 10 years off of your second best sport and still play it at a professional level, to me, is a tremendous accomplishment. So, do I think he's going to be an everyday Major League Baseball player? No, and he's going to turn 32 next month, and I'm curious as to how long the Mets will continue, with this. Does he get another year next year? If not, some organization, if he's interested, I think will give him the opportunity to play. But so sideshow, but at the same time, I'll give him a hat tip for doing far better as a baseball player than I ever thought he would be.
How's he doing for the turnstiles over at Victory Field? Do you know?
I don't know, but I saw a lot of people taking pictures yesterday. Maybe it was just a beautiful Monday night, and they had planned to go anyway. But again, in talking with the folks in Syracuse, they didn't have an exact number for me, but they felt that there was an increase in attendance every stop on the road they had been, knowing of the Tim Tebow factor.
You know, it's funny too, in baseball, especially minor league baseball. If that is what the case, you'd almost be viewed as stupid not to try to take advantage of that effect with somebody, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. And again, my question will be, okay, if the Mets decide at the end of the year, hey, we think you've gone as far as you can go, you've been great, but we're moving on, would he go play for an independent league team who would obviously, they're not affiliated, they're not trying to put butts in seats, and it's a no-brainer for them. Would he go play at that level, or is he only going to go play if he's playing affiliated baseball, for lack of a better term, which in theory gives him a shot at playing in Major League Baseball sometime?
It's Greg Graystraw. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Of course, post-game show host for the Colts. Camps coming up in Westfield in the not-so-distant future. You think that it's appropriate, all the national love that the Colts are getting right now, not just for the 2019 season, but, hell, from ESPN.com for the next 3 years, in fact?
No, I think it's spot on because I think they are that well-built. And again, when I look at this group, I don't see much in the way of question marks if guys can repeat their performances from last year. No, I think the job that Chris Ballard has done has been absolutely outstanding. If any team that can return as many starters as this group does from last year, any team that addressed the depth that they were able to, during the course of the season. No, I think they were. I think it was an absolutely fantastic, off season for the Indianapolis Colts, and I think this team is set to be really good for the next several years.
Yeah, and I think most would agree too. What do you think they got or will be most improved with the season as a whole? And we know, how the season started and then ultimately how they finished and what got better then. But where is the biggest upgrade that you think you're going to see with this 2019 team in mind, Greg?
Well, it has to be pass rush. Knowing that you spent really big bucks on outside free agents, only on two guys, Devin Funchess along with Justin Houston. And so, Houston, Banigou, hopefully getting Danico Autry healthy for a full season because, again, in limited numbers, that his numbers, especially from an interior pass rush standpoint, were absolutely outstanding. And so that's the area that's got to improve, especially knowing you are playing a higher level of quarterback than you did a season ago. I think pass rush has to be the most improved area on this team.
I don't know if you've seen this or not because you're on with me, but I saw the Colts send out a tweet from their official site introducing your 2016 Indianapolis Colts. Have you seen that?
I have not, no.
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing. Don't look at it. It's weird. It got them all except for Vinatieri, who basically looks the same as older.
Oh, is it the whole face app thing?
Yeah. Is there a face app thing that's going around?
Yes. There are many teams that are like NCAA March Madness, the college basketball Twitter account, did a thing about what this year's stars would look like, 50 years down the road. So, yeah, when somebody does one thing on social media these days, everyone else feels the need to, copy it and do the exact same thing. Heaven forbid you ever have an original thought. Yeah, that is going around today.
Yeah. It's creepy, man. I think that's creepy. Like, the luck one looks pretty creepy.
I can't comment on it as I haven't seen it, but current stars is old people. Yeah, it's all over the internet today. Congratulations.
I had no idea. I guess I got to get better with that in mind. I didn't. Yeah.
Well, you've been busy, interacting with callers and paying attention to sporting things.
Yeah,
talking about songs from the 80s.
Yeah, me and Apps. I don't know if Apps and I get along too well either. Just doesn't, I guess. So.
And you're fried because your heating was out. It was like 80 degrees in your house. And stuff like that.
That's incredible. 80 degrees. What do you keep yours?
68 in the main living area, knowing that the heat will rise in the upstairs. So I would guess that if you went to our house and took a thermometer upstairs into the basement, it'd be 65 in the basement, 68 in the on the first floor, and probably something low 70s upstairs.
What do you think? Where should I set the over-under at? Because, listen, to me, I got to have a meat locker. It's got to be like 69 or so all over the house. But where do you think most people set it? And I know that it's probably dependent upon what age we're talking about here. But, like, I'll give you a great example. Kyle's 25, and he keeps his at like 74 in the living room. That's way too damn hot. He's way too young to be having it at 74 in the living room. Don't you think?
Well, he's also skinny. And, I know the big money that he makes producing your show, so he's trying to save some cash by doing it that way. So those two factors, I somewhat understand that. But, I couldn't stay at Kyle's house, no.
There's no way I could do that. Greg Rakestraw is with us. Did we see one of the greatest tennis matches, certainly finals of all time, a couple of days ago?
You did, but the thing is that those guys have delivered that level of match so many times over the last 15 years, whether it's any combination of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and before he got hurt, throw Andy Murray into that mix as well. Now, you can't talk about Andy in the same conversation because of those injuries as you would the guys that have won the most majors in the history of, men's open tennis, men's professional tennis, however you want to phrase it. But yes, that was one of the greatest tennis matches we've ever seen. But frankly, it's become the norm for those two guys, and throw Rafael Nadal in the mix as well.
So Greg Rakestraw, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. The Open is the final major coming up later on this week. You kind of surprised that the high water mark clearly is going to be Tiger in the Masters, and what he said about his game going into Northern Ireland later on this week?
I have no what did Tiger have said?
He just said, his game's not sharp. His game's not sharp.
No.
So.
No, I had Will Haskell on the show yesterday, and one of my first questions for him was, all right, once Tiger won it at that Augusta, we all kind of got caught up in this. All right, now his chase of Jack is back on in terms of chasing Jack Nicklaus, a number of majors and only being 3 away. And then you kind of see the performances in the last 2, and you go, maybe there's one more left, but I'm not sure if he's got a couple left in him. And I think I've got the dates right on this. Nicklaus won his last at 46, and I know that golfers are much better athletes than they were 30, 35 years ago, but you still got to wonder exactly how many more of these might Tiger have. And knowing how well he plays at Augusta, you almost now separate his chances at the Masters versus his chances at the other 3 majors and say that maybe he didn't exactly have much of a chance at all, unfortunately, this weekend.
Who do you like this weekend in Northern Ireland?
The sentimental pick is Rory McIlroy. The money pick would be Brooks Koepka, just because he's so good at seemingly every major. The guy that I'm trying to figure out is Phil Mickelson. I wasn't sure that Phil needed to lose 15 pounds, but apparently dude fasted for 6 days to lose 15 pounds. I'm not sure if I'm wanting to, he's not a wrestler. He's not trying to cut weight to make weight, for the main event. And so I'm not sure I'm giving much money to Phil as far as this weekend is concerned. But, I guess I'm picking favorites here. McIlroy would be the, it would be the sentimental choice going back to Ireland. But then again, you do good things when you bet on Brooks Koepka these days at a major golf tournament.
That's it, right? And I mean, he's the one constant right there at the top, always in the top 3 or seemingly always there.
And I'm still trying to figure out why he doesn't get more attention or more love from casual sports fans or even from golf fans, because he's been so ridiculously good in seemingly every major for the last 3 years.
So Greg Rakestraw with us. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, give me one thing. I said this a little bit earlier because everybody loves, like my whole Twitter timeline was about racks over the weekend. Somebody saw racks in Ohio, the old roast beef place, and then everybody was talking about their racks in Ohio, and it's racks. I suggest this. If anybody were to ever get the rights to Burger Chef and build a Burger Chef location, that place would make money hand over fist for a long time. Would you agree?
That's a great idea. The O'Charlie's just closed at Broderpool Avenue in Keystone. Maybe that's what we should put in there.
Well, I'm thinking this
burger chef at the O'Charlie's,
because Mark Cuban's show Shark Tank, I think, is auditioning, right, or taking ideas and pitches out at the Speedway today. Somebody, and I don't know who has the rights to Burger Chef, but there's your pitch around here. I mean, I think that would be, unless the food is just incredibly awful, but I think there's your pitch right there for something that, to me, would be can't miss around here.
I think it's time for you to start finding some investors, JMB.
You think so?
You're going to take a little money, to buy the intellectual property rights for whomever owns that. But you'll get people, by the carload the first time. Then the food's got to be good for trips 2 through whatever, but I think $1 million, at least it'll fit air conditioning. Let's put it that way.
I think about it this way too. That was the first place I could remember that had a fixins bar. Right, you order your burger, and then they had shredded lettuce and pickles and tomatoes and mustard and things, and that was back before the invention of the sneeze guard. Because somebody made a crap load of money out of inventing a sneeze guard, and that was before that invention. So it was no sneeze guard and a fixins bar.
All right, so Burger Chef. Well, I was not here in the age of Burger Chef.
Yeah.
So, I remember Druthers, which I think was like the Southern Indiana, Kentucky version of that, if I remember right.
It is.
And then, when I think of, salad bars at a fast food joint, Wendy's is what comes to mind.
Yeah.
That's what I think of, but not exactly the toppings bar as you're alluding to.
Well, Wendy's had the salad bar, and they had a pasta and a nacho bar with right there. I mean, Italian and Mexican food bars right there with the salad bar. It was genius back in the day.
That was a high level Saturday night in the Racestraw household growing up. Absolutely. Get all fancied up, you can go to Wendy's.
Everybody's telling me that Hardee's and Carl's Jr. owns the rights to Burger Chef. So
could be. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. What you got going on? And we all got some Colt stuff coming up here relatively soon, don't we?
Exactly. For ISC Sports Network, I had the North-South Football All-Star Game on Friday night. You can go back and watch it on demand at ISCSportsNetwork.com. I have got a little baseball this weekend up in Lafayette, big travel ball tournament, the Greater Lafayette World Series for ISC. But yes, when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts, I will be in Westfield starting next Thursday, if not every day, but pretty darn close to it. So, and I've got Indy 11 on Saturday night, only home match the month of July. Indy 11 play host to Loudon United. You can catch it on Wish TV.
I did want to ask you this before I let you go, because we're getting closer and closer to the start of the high school football season officially. Each class, who are we talking about? Maybe a top 2 or 3 teams from what you believe to be 2019 in high school football?
Carmel and Center Grove in 6A. In 5A, obviously things have changed because Cathedral was bumped from 4A to 5A because of a bylaw that was enacted by the IHSA as far as changing how well you had to do playing up and staying at that level. And so, I think New Pal is the favorite in 5A, but Cathedral will give them a run, I think, in 5A as well. 4A, that tends to open things up. Dwenger left 4A. Memorial jumps into 4A, but they graduated a lot of their key pieces off teams that made the state finals in the last couple of years. From a local standpoint, 5A and 6A is where you want to focus on, and Carmel Center Grove in 6A, with I think Warren and Ben Davis right behind them because of the heavy graduation losses both those teams suffered in kind of the last couple of years. But then in 5A, New Pal and Cathedral immediately come to mind.
How's this year competition-wise at the top going to compare to maybe the last 5?
The last couple of years, we have had this dominant team in 6A. Where 2 years ago, we're talking about Ben Davis as, one of the great teams of all time. I don't think we ever got to that level with Warren Central last year, but they were clearly the best team, even though injuries kind of brought them back to the pack a little bit during the season. They were, if not dominant, they were clearly the best team in the state championship game last year against Carmel. I think Carmel is the best team this year because they bring back a quarterback that got a lot of experience last year in the postseason. Their top couple of running backs last year were sophomores. They've got some good talent that returns on the defensive side of the ball. They frankly have more to replace on defense than they do on offense, but Carmel is really good. And again, New Pal graduated their quarterback, but they've got 3 Division I kids on that roster in playing at the 5A level. So I think from a local standpoint, again, you separate them by classes. Carmel's the favorite in 6A, New Pal's the favorite in 5A, but it's not like it's a given that either of those two teams are going to easily win a state championship, because there's at least a couple of teams that can compete with them along the way to the championship game.
What if I go Burger Chief? Kind of like McDowell's was to McDonald's and coming to America?
Right, so the Big Mac to the Big Mick, you don't put, sesame seeds on the bun. So I'm trying to think of, so here's what you do.
The
you
Big Chief instead of the Big Chef,
Right, that's a Franco burger, not a Frisco burger.
Yeah.
So whether that's Julio, John, or Generalissimo, there's different Francos you can go with there. What else could you do? Try to match, instead of cinnamon and raisin biscuits, like maybe cinnamon and apple biscuits might be the way to go. So that gives you a start, John, that you can take and run with the rest of the way.
Well done. Always appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, Greg.
Good luck with the AC.
All right. Greg's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. See, somebody asked me this over the weekend, and I didn't really bring it up, and I don't know where it started. It's like, I don't know where this whole Face app thing started, but now I see it on Twitter, and now everybody's utilizing it. But somebody asked me over the weekend if I had 4 definitive albums to pick from when I was growing up. Basically from, I'm assuming 10 until 20. What would I pick? There's a lot of them there. I was more of a mixtape because I didn't like to hear bad crap on albums. I didn't want to hear the bad songs on albums. But I could probably come up with 4. I might come up with 4 coming up on the other side, too. I bet my 4 would be drastically different than Kyle across from me. Because consider 10 years ago, it'd be music from 10 years ago for Kyle. And it'd be all Kanye West. There's no Kanye West on mine. Tell you what, I'll lob in my list coming up on the other side. Give somebody a shot to go see Train and the Goo Goo Dolls Sunday, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. And your calls at 239-1070 coming up on the other side. Where should the Colts bar be set for 2019? I say AFC title game is where it is. What say you? We'll get your calls and more. Other side next.
Mortgage interest rates continue to drop week after week. Don't miss your chance to lock in to one of these historically low interest rates. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
Here's what's happening with the Fan.
Check out all the Fan's live appearances and more under the events tab at 1070thefan.com. How about tickets to local sporting events or opportunities to win free prizes? Then check out the contest tab at 1070thefan.com. Enter for your chance to win free prizes today. And follow the Fan on social media. The Fan is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like and follow the Fan for updates on all things Indy Sports Center.
For more info, click on IndySportsCenter.com.
Being a Colts season ticket member has never been more rewarding. From exclusive events and VIP access to discounts at the Colts Pro Shop and the chance to go to the NFL Draft, Pro Bowl, and Super Bowl, there's never been a better time to join our season ticket member family. Reserve your seats for the 2019 season today and experience this game, this team, and this community like never before. Call 317-297-7000 or visit Colts.com/tickets to learn more.
We remember the moments that inspired us to pursue an education. Memories from our childhood that led us to become the individuals we are today. Though our paths were different, the obstacles we faced and the debt that endures are burdens we all share. But what if our children didn't have to share our struggles? What if they could follow their passions and learn the skills necessary to cultivate every bit of their potential without the weight of student debt? College Choice 529 provides families from every walk of life a way to save for higher education. So our kids can dream, conquer fears, defy the odds. Because together, we are powerful. And together, we can create a world where debt doesn't limit our children's future. No one's journey looks the same, but everyone's needs a start. College Choice 529. Learn more and enroll at collegechoicedirect.com.
Read the disclosure statement carefully before investing.
Thinking about getting an in-ground pool this summer? Dan Dockage for Family Leisure. You have got to check out the 16 by 32 in-ground pool special they're running for under $40,000. This 16 by 32 in-ground pool includes all the equipment, the concrete decking, and the entire pool and the installation. I went to Family Leisure for my own in-ground pool, and I got to tell you, I love it. They're pros, and they make the whole process easy. In-ground pool sale going on right now at Family Leisure. Tell them I sent you. Summer's here. Book a midweek staycation today. Four Winds Lakeside Inn and Marina. 3 nights, $249. Book online, fourwindslakeside.com or call 812-824-BOAT.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
Brett Stevens joins us. Romeo Langford, he said that he's got to work on a hitch in his shot. How easy or difficult is it for a kid coming into the league to fix something like that?
That's just a matter of muscle memory, tons of reps, the right kind of work. Sometimes that can take more than a couple months, even a year. I mean, sometimes that takes time. He's got a lot of tools. I think that he'll have a chance to be impactful.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I care about you, don't.
Bull on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Greg Graystraw, podcast 1070thefan.com. Bob Kravitz, Athletic, a little bit earlier. JMV, is it just me or does one of the bottom left... Now, this is talking about the Colts utilizing the Face app. Does the bottom left look like Mike Chappell in a long beard? That stuff is pretty weird. JMV, I seem to remember Hardee's advertising they were bringing back the Big Chef burger a few years ago. But you'd have to have the Super and Big Chef as well. I'd agree. JMV, just because a radio show that sucks seems to work, bringing back a restaurant with awful food isn't a good idea. I didn't have awful food. I don't know. Maybe it was awful and we just thought it was great because it was back in the day like anything else, right? Maybe. JMV, I'm originally from southern Louisiana, and my first T-ball team was sponsored by Burger Chef. I'm all for bringing that back. Gershom Davis. JMV, I think this season's Super Bowl or bust. I think you're setting the bar a little bit too low. This team's being talked about at that level, so you might as well set it up at that level. Not put it at AFC title game. Hey, JMV, do you think it's a good idea that Burger King has tacos? Hell, I don't know. What do you think, Kyle? Good idea or bad idea Burger King has tacos?
Bad idea.
Would you ever eat a taco from Burger King?
The only place I'm getting a taco consistently, Taco Bell.
That's it?
That's it.
Do you get the tin, the carry-out tin in that case?
Oh, yeah.
JMV, my son used to work at Arby's. If you knew what was in... Listen, I've said this before. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know anything. Nothing, zero. JMV, didn't you mention the 4 albums that kind of built your listening existence back in the 80s? This is from Sean. I did. Pyromania, Def Leppard, Back in Black, AC/DC. Very, very few skips on those. License to Ill, BC Boys. Man, I'm going to leave something out. Joshua Tree, U2, probably. I liked LL Cool J and Bad. And I love Crush Groove and the soundtrack. I guess he gave you like 5, and I was only supposed to give you 4. Maybe even 6. And only supposed to give you 4. That's my bad. But those are probably in the neighborhood of the ones that I think I should be talking about right now. Just a thought. Hey, JMV, can you recommend a good afternoon sports talk show? Yes, right here. Right here, Sean Casey. Right here. Always right here. My man's got Michigan down there. So you know he's probably a bit turdish. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh at this. I'm not going to bring it up. That's pretty classic. Hey, JMV, in this modern NBA era, why is it that everybody whines about the Pacers? I don't know if anybody's whining about the Pacers. I think what Bob says in his column in The Athletic basically is the way that it is. I mean, hell, it's what we talk about all the time. The Pacers, much like others that are in a similar size city, similar size market, you just don't have all the assets to just bring people in like others, as we talked about with Bob. And it probably doesn't matter. They probably weren't going to get them anyway, but guys don't even return calls about wanting a conversation with them. It's like you start down here and everybody else starts up there. I mean, for example, if the Pacers were to make the mistakes that we have seen from the Lakers, and I mean back to back to back from the Lakers, then there's no coming back from it. None. I mean, you are buried, and I mean buried and awful for years. But, I mean, if you're the Lakers, hey, we're L.A., there are just built-in advantages. And I would agree with Bob. I don't think the NBA really cares. I think they like where they are right now. I think they've liked the last 3+ weeks, if not a month. I think they like the offseason to this point. I think they like all the drama surrounding these guys going here and there and wanting to play with friends, and that's not going to stop. I think they do like it. And I don't think they want to rid themselves of it. I don't think they really worry about the lack of so-called competitive balance or fairness in free agency. I just don't think they do. So that's, to me, all he was saying in the column, and I think that is true. But I've always said this, and I think that's what they do. The Pacers, whether you're talking about Kevin or Chad, Pete Dinwiddie, they just kind of play the hand that they're dealt. But you just, at that level, cannot make the mistakes that others can. Because others just have that built-in advantage, and that's not going to go away. One, because, I mean, the destination location is just not going to go away anytime soon, and the other is I don't think the NBA wants it to. I think they dig where it is right now. I'd be surprised if they didn't. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at this. I'm not going to make fun of anybody's picture, but holy crap, that's terrible. That's outstanding. JMV, you liked the Joshua Tree, yeah, along with like everybody else in the world, I guess. At that time, there's no doubt. Always. Yeah, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, too. The Colts, according to ESPN.com, are, for the next 3 years, and not just in 2019, they are predicted to be the best team for the next 3 years. Now, again, the same folks, Lewis Riddick, Field Yates, and these guys from ESPN, the same folks that came up with this, that all the Colts fans are excited about and saying, yeah, you know what, they're right, they're the smartest people in the world. Remember, a year ago, the Colts fans were probably saying these guys don't know what the hell they're talking about because they have the Colts ranked 22nd. So there's a wide gap there. But it is tough not to see, and it is tough not to understand, and it is tough not to buy into exactly what they're doing, translating for just more than 1 year. I'll give you a great example. I put the bar at an AFC title game, and I think that's in all fairness because it's a team that made the divisional round. It's a team that didn't look good against Kansas City on the road and needs home field advantage in that divisional round, but still made it there. You know, no matter what you think about Houston, no matter what you think about the tail end of the schedule, they still made it there. So to me, AFC title game or bust this year. That's where the bar is set. That is where you start. Yeah, Workingman's Friend sounds pretty good right there. I agree. That is going to have to be sometime soon. It's from Adam. Playing in the scramble in Jasper, any tips to handle the southern Indiana heat? You're just going to sweat, and there's not much you can do about it. But since you're in Jasper, here's one thing, and I'm assuming you're playing at Sultan's Run. Play there, have a great round, have a great time. Go over in the AC in the bar area of the Schnitzelbank and knock back some Das Boot and have a great meal. Adam, and then everything else will take care of itself. Everything. Just hit up the Das Boot. JMV, did you know that Billy Bob Thornton was coming to Fountain Square? Oh, yeah. I think he's in a band, right? Sling Blade. Sure, I'd be all about that. Wouldn't mind it at all. Hey, JMV, am I the only one that believes what the Lakers are doing right now, what the Rockets are doing right now simply won't work? Nah, I think a lot of people believe that those experiments aren't going to work, but for those teams, it's more than an experiment. I mean, you got a lot riding on it. And we all know what's going to happen in L.A. The same thing's going to happen in Houston. If things don't work out initially, or even longer term, it's going to be the coaches. It's going to be D'Antoni. It's going to be Run. It's going to be Frank Vogel. There's going to be Run. But listen, if I'm Houston, I'd do the same thing. Russell Westbrook, availability, see how it works out compared to the rest of the NBA landscape out west, and go at it. If you can, if you get the means to do it, you get rid of Chris Paul in the process, then do it. What is amazing to me is if you look around the NBA and if you look at all these next season, here's where your team is going to be, it's always been Golden State like 1 or 2 for the past 5+ years. And if you look at Golden State, they're not even inside the top 10 coming up this year. That's what's weird. I mean, just incredibly weird considering the past 5+ years we've dealt with. Not anywhere near right now. To answer your question, I'm supposed to be in Amp Harris and Reggie Wayne's basketball thing coming up on Saturday. Convention Center, I believe, is where that is. T.Y. Hilton's playing, Jacoby Brissett. I got to get Amp on here to talk about it. But you got several Colts players playing, some former players playing. It's always a really good time. I think Hagan's going to be playing. I think Wells mentioned Wells is going to be in it too. But it's a good time, good cause, and I always have fun playing in the Convention Center. But that is coming up on Saturday. And I'll get Amp on here later on this week, and we'll talk about Indiana Black Expo and his game. His game with Reggie Wayne coming up on Saturday. All right, we got the Harris Hoosier Park race of the day. Pouring down rain on the circle downtown. I looked to the south a little bit earlier. It looked like it was pouring down rain to the south, too. Yeah, see, Joseph Fitton Faust says you left out Led Zeppelin 4. The problem is that wasn't – I'm just going – I probably wasn't the biggest Led Zeppelin guy back then. I'm just talking about stuff that I listened to, and mine probably had more of a rock, rap, pop mixture from 80 to 89. And they're all incredibly popular. I mean, hell, Pyromania was huge in the 80s. No doubt, Joshua Tree is probably the biggest album of the 80s. So it all makes sense. But I wasn't the biggest Led Zeppelin guy. I was kind of had to get older to kind of appreciate that. Yeah, and everybody did. AC/DC Back in Black probably was and may still be one of the most popular albums of all time. It was one where you didn't necessarily ever have to skip a song. And that's what we did back in the day, is just skip this song, skip that song. You rarely had to skip a song on that album. So it's probably at the top of the list. Harris Hoosier Park race of the day. Somebody's going to win. We'll give you the lineup. And I'll give somebody a shot at Train and Goo Goo Dolls tickets coming up. Final time with you next.
So, you think you know horses? Well, take our online quiz to find out. You could be the lucky winner of a VIP prize pack, courtesy of Indiana Horse Racing Commission.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. We're almost halfway through summer, and if you haven't found the home of your dreams, I have some great news for you. Mortgage interest rates continue to drop, and we are back to those historic low levels. What does that mean for you? You have a lot more buying power. You can now expand your search to a higher price point and still have the same payment. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
We may hit triple digits coming up on Saturday. What you need to do, you need to make sure your AC unit's running right with 1 hour heating and air conditioning at 844 1 hour. And right now, they got a deal for you. Here's the deal, Outlook, too. You get a free service call with a repair gig. So free service call with the repair gig, and maybe you need it right now too. Just don't find out at the wrong time that you're going to need the service. I mean, you want to make sure right now that you're prepared, because we're going to find the hottest temperatures of the year coming up this weekend. Be ready. Have that peace of mind with 1 hour heating and air conditioning. 844 1 hour. That's 844 1 hour today.
Hey, it's Tony Kanan. I'm here with Chuck Jones from BUSS Chevrolet. Chuck, summer is here, and you got some hot deals.
Yes, TK. July kicks off the Bill Esther Chevrolet Takeover Sale.
The Takeover Sale is in full swing. Boom!
Boom is right. During July, you can take over the low payments on any vehicle with down payments cheaper than a tank of gas. Or we've got 0% financing on all new Chevys for up to 84 months.
Chuck, now's the time to find new roads to BUSS Chevy at 465 in Michigan Road or online at BUSSChevy.com.
As a small business owner, when was the last time you considered switching internet providers?
I don't even remember. Running a business keeps me pretty busy.
Let's compare your current provider to Comcast Business. Are you getting fast, reliable internet?
Sometimes.
How about a full suite of innovative services like separate Wi-Fi networks, 4G wireless backup, and advanced voice solutions?
I highly doubt it.
Sounds like Comcast Business could give you more. Make the switch to the nation's largest gig speed network now and get an amazing deal. Right now, get fast 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for paperless billing and autopay. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Monthly service charge increases by $10 without paperless billing and autopay. Offer ends 8/21/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra, subject to change. Backup limited to up to 8 hours.
Hey, John, for Indiana's best, Andy Moore, Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36, 2018 Dealer of the Year. That's Ben Mendoza. That's Robert Scott and the gang over there. Just the absolute best customer service you're going to find at any place. That's part of it, too. Now, you can be prepared because they have everything that they have on sale at great prices right now online at AndyMooreToyota.com. So if you're looking for a car, for example, you get the Camry Hybrid right there. You can find out which one that you like and then head out to Avon and then talk with Ben and the gang about that. Maybe it's the Sienna minivan. They're going to find you a great deal on the vehicle of your choice. I'm telling you, customer service is absolutely the best at Indiana's best. And I want you to tell them that I sent you too and report back to me about it all, because it is a great car buying experience at Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
Dan Dockich here, and it's summer, and we are all itching to enjoy the summer sun. But before you grab your clubs and head to the course, I want you to learn the A, B, C, D, E signs of melanoma. If you have moles with irregular borders or uneven color, get them checked out. Any large moles, as well as those that change over time, should also be seen by your doctor. If you have a family history of skin cancer or spend a lot of time in the sun, like so many of us do in the summer, you should also get checked. If you've been diagnosed with skin cancer, call for a second opinion. Franciscan Health provides a comprehensive approach to treating melanoma with a multidisciplinary team of oncologists, melanoma surgeons, and dedicated nurse navigator. So you're not going through this alone. To schedule a second opinion, call 317-528-1420 or visit franciscanhealth.org/fightcancer to connect with a cancer nurse. Franciscan Health, inspiring health.
It's the Harris Hoosier Park race of the day. Here's your lineup. Graydon Hood gets Verge of Insanity. Jim Gilmore with Swan Victoria. Wings Up goes to Chris Curry. Dale Thomas gets Jimmy Dean. PC Foreign Affair to Dave Marin. My man Marin's in. Fred Gary gets M. El Paso. Dwayne Williams with JS Got You Girl, and Mark Julie Morris with Giddy Up and Go Gilmer. It's the Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day. Kyle, roll it.
The following is presented by the Indiana Standard Bred Breed Development Program. From Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino, it's time for the harness race of the day on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
And they're off right at the start, wings up. Trotting out for the lead, it's a Jimmy Dean. From the inside, EML Paso and Giddy Up and Go Gilmer comes away third as they step out past the JS Gucci Girl trots away fourth. Verge of Insanity is next in fifth. PC4 Affair is sixth. Then comes Swan Victoria. And Wings Up, the 8-5 favorite, now back trotting, but is out of this one here as they trails in eighth. They reach the first quarter 27-3, and up front leading the way, it's Jimmy Dean. Jimmy Dean by length and a half. EML Paso sitting on the leaders back in second. Then a gap of 2 lengths back to Giddy Up and Go Gilmer third. Another 2 lengths, JS Gucci Girl fourth. 2 more is Verge of Insanity. PC4 and Affair. Then on the inside, Swan Victoria, second last, and Wings Up. Still no changes here as they arrive at the half. Jimmy Dean has led every step of the way. Halfway home in 58 seconds. Jimmy Dean a length and a half. EML Paso unhurried and waiting patiently there in the pocket. Right there in her back, Giddy Up and Go Gilmer has closed the gap a bit third, and now to his outside, PC4 and Affair is on the move. As McCumber gives him the green light, they circle the far turn. Giddy Up and Go Gilmer then trapped along the pylons as they approach the 3/4 mile marker. Jimmy Dean being pushed along here by EML Paso. Now she'll lead Racing Room as PC4 and Affair looms into contention. 128 and 1 past 3/4, and to the outside, PC4 and Affair takes a short lead. Jimmy Dean between horses, and down to the inside, EML Paso. Towards the center of the track, it's Verge of Insanity. Final 16th, PC4 and Affair. The side of downs invader with a short lead. EML Paso to the inside, won't reach PC4 and Affair. In the opener, it won 56 and 2. EML Paso finished as second. Giddy Up and Go Gilmer was up for third with Verge of Insanity.
Just minutes from Indy off I-69 in Anderson, Harrah's Hoosier Park has standard bred horse racing through November 9th, thanks in part to the Indiana Standard Bred Breed Development Program. And keep listening for your chance to win with Harrah's Hoosier Park Harness Race of the Day on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hey, join me tomorrow. We're going to talk some trash. I don't know what about, but I feel like talking a little smack, and it's What the Hell Wednesday, and I got a ton of what the hells for you. We'll probably talk about the TBT and whether Kamar Baldwin wants to play college basketball.
You're listening to The Ride with JMV.
The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Now the Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day, Dave Marin. Look at Marin, the big fella cashing in here. PC4 and Affair. ML Paso, Giddy Up and Go something. Well, the 57.40 exacta payout. Superfecta went for 55.51, 47.85. The trifecta, Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day. 4 days a week right here. In the 5 o'clock hour. JMV, I know some don't want to acknowledge it. You know, I completely forgot about Thriller, Matt. That's my bad, man. And I missed a bunch here. It was just off the top of my head. I mean, Thriller, Purple Rain, Synchronicity, Appetite for Destruction. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'll acknowledge it, but I've also said that I like Off the Wall more than Thriller. But yeah, it was Thriller top to bottom. The only song you really had to fast forward through was The Girl Is Mine because nobody wanted to hear that. But now you're right. You are absolutely right. All right, do the Reds go 8-3 later on tonight against the Cubs this season? 8-3, which for Reds fans out there, it should make you feel not so great, considering they're still in last place right now. Feel great because you beat the Cubs. Don't feel great because you know what? These guys should have a better damn record right now. That is so true. Reds and Cubs. Yeah, last night, Cubs had some problems. Yeah, Rizzo with that effort in foul ground when the wind kind of blew it back. from the stands. So, but the Reds have had ownership of the Cubs, and that is not a bad thing, is it, Kyle? DeSclafani and Mills, is that the pitching matchup tonight? Cubs made a move, traded Mike Montgomery for Martin Maldonado. They've got some catching problems. I think Montgomery wanted out. So, yeah, Dalton Spears says the Reds' one-run losses have been tough this season. What's been even tougher is just the lack of consistency, because they'll give you a moment to where you believe and you think, yep, you know what, invest the time right now. And then sometimes they can't get out of their damn way, and it looks like they need to be sellers, and you're kind of over it. So, yeah, that is right. Hey, JMV, around 1990-ish, my parents got a sweet home gym from Bob Block, and the Back in Black album helped a skinny 13-year-old farm boy get super pumped. John the Boozard right there. Back in Black. Didn't have to skip through anything. Synchronicity. I mean, it's right there with me, too. It is. Synchronicity. I missed it. I mean, Purple Rain, you don't have to skip through anything there either. What the hell am I doing? Don't put me on the spot like that. I'll freeze up. A JMV, rock, rap, huh? Does that mean you were a 311 fan of the early to mid-90s? Happened to catch their show. They're ska. 311 ska, right? Isn't that ska? I do like 311, though. But their big hit was Down, I think, in the day. Back in the 90s. That's a good damn song right there. Now, what are we doing tomorrow? Is Conchar on here tomorrow? Are we still waiting? What the hell is he doing? He's been working out for a week.
Waiting to hear back from the Grizzlies people. Hopefully get them on tomorrow or Thursday.
I've got to get you the guy from Major League's number 2 at some point. Got to get a hold of him. Get Ed Harris on this show. All right. Got to thank Bob Kravitz. Got to thank Greg Rakestraw, podcast 1070thefan.com. Bowen's in tomorrow. I think Holder is in tomorrow. I'm getting closer and closer to start a Colts camp, too. I can't wait. I love you, Westfield, and you know that. If you were further south, I'd be all over you, Westfield. You're further south. All right, number 7. I want somebody to go. 239-1070. Sunday, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Train, Goo Goo Dolls. Number 7's going to go on us. You guys are awesome, as always. Thanks to JJ and Chris yesterday. Trackside Kevin and Kevin's at 7. I'll talk to you tomorrow at
3. Sports with Dan Dockage.
Brad Stevens, coach of the Boston Celtics, joins us.